Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Level Quest, a D&D live play. I am Corey Keeney, your humble dungeon master. And below us, we've got a few great players to brave this dangerous world for your entertainment. Before we get started and introduce them, just a general trigger warning. We don't shy away from mature topics. There's going to be some body horror, coarse language, might dig into addiction and other stuff like that. If anything makes you uncomfortable, step away, and we hope you'll come back. So that said, Dan, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself before we jump in here?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? It's Dan. I am playing Calder Sage, a half-orc fighter. Calder's a fairly large half-orc who built his stature wielding a blacksmith hammer. He has dark green skin with a bit of a brown hue and a stubble orange beard below a bald head. Calder usually wears armor that is crafted by his own hand and is mismatched in color as it was made from scrap metal available to him. He has a deep, raspy voice and can seem distant when deep in thought, surveying every landscape as a potential battlefield. And in the last session, Calder was particularly uncomfortable with and struggled with having to strip his own corpse for gear.
Hello, my name is Richard. I am playing Dez, or Foreign Desja, but he likes to go by Dez if you want to call him that. He's a halfling bard, black hair, blue eyes, kind of looks like a newsie if anybody's watched Newsies. And he's just a halfling bard trying to make his own news, as Corey puts it, because I love that line. Yeah. And last session, oh shoot, I forgot. What? Oh, I mean, he was struggling. I was struggling, not being able to cast spells because I was dead all the time.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm playing Orson Turner, a human monk. He's a rather old man, pretty frail looking, strong arms though from years of being a potter. Last session, his biggest concern was probably losing his potter's apron that he's wore for so long, and he had to quickly cut one up and make one out of what he could find. So, hoping to find a new one.
Hey, I'm Stefan. I'll be playing Theo Forrest, half-elf paladin, which he's only just now discovering that's actually what he can do and what he's capable of. Generally wears, whatever kind of shiny mail or armor he can wear at this point and everything. In last session, he was overjoyed that his friend of 3 years, he was reunited with his friend of 3 years, and is taking it extremely personally, his protection from now on, extremely personally.
All right, we are going to dive right in here then. So previously in Illustera, God, it feels good to say that again. After meeting unfortunate ends, our fated few awakened in a cave around a glowing sphere covered in spinning irregular plates. While attempting to dig their way out, they expired and awoke again in the same place, their previous bodies lying on the ground before them. Eventually digging out a tunnel, they explored the rest of this strange complex, finding an armory, a kitchen, some bedrooms housing a mama bear and her cub, and a study of sorts housing a corpse, and a strange living ball of acid that slew everyone. Awakening a third time in the same place, Maxwell was beset by unseen shadows until armored by the glowing dust of a nearby skeleton. As the shadows retreated into his body, he heard a voice in his mind say, "We're safe for a time." And that is where we are picking up the session, right where we left off there. So everybody here, Maxwell's not with us tonight, so I'll be playing him, moving his token around a little bit, but he's probably going to be pretty silent for the most part, unless you guys directly engage him in stuff. The rest of you saw him scramble back into the room, panicking at the shadows, trying to burn it off of his arm, and then stumbling over to that skeleton in the northern corner of the room with the sphere, and it surrounding his body. And that's where we pick up. What are you guys all doing?
We're all scared to move.
So just a quick thing, Corey, since I think it was Maxwell that awakened the fire elemental, can we just delegate that mastership to somebody else?
Yeah, for sure. We'll say, yeah, you guys, as so Maxwell is like, he's pretty panicked. He's like very intent on his skin and like just like horribly uncomfortable in his body right now. Is like scratching at his pores and just kind of freaking out and very inner focused at the moment. We'll say he gave the command to the fire elemental to listen to the rest of you while it lives here.
I can't recall. Oh, sorry. I can't recall. Did we look at his skin? Can we see what's going on with his skin? Do we see anything visually?
No, you saw nothing. You did not see the dripping shadows. You did see the skeleton dissolve into dust and swirl around his body and kind of like soak into his skin a little bit, or like at least layer upon him. But that was all of that episode that you were able to witness. The rest of it was in his mind or something else, but you weren't privy to it.
Interesting. I guess Des will turn around, probably looking through Calder's legs. He sees Maxwell, and then he's like, "Well, I guess that guy's got a couple problems of his own." And then he'll just walk into the room and look over. This is the loot room, right? Where
This is the loot room, yeah.
He'll just look over a bunch of items and pick out a couple that seem to be to his liking, because he understands there's a lot of stuff probably that we're gonna face, so it's smarter to be armed than to lose an arm.
Eh.
And he just starts picking up stuff.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff. I'm going to reload the stream here. It looks like it's not. The page wasn't refreshed. I opened this up quite a bit earlier today. There we go. Okay. Yeah, carry on. Okay. Yeah, you gather whatever arms and armaments you want from this area. Yeah, we went over loot stuff previously, so if you guys want to take time to arm yourselves and like equip and attune to things, you can do that here.
Yeah, I
the
guess
things that call to us.
Mm-hmm.
the things that called to us. After the end of the hour, Des just has a really cool black mask over him. It's hard to see his eyes. It's hard to see his face underneath, but his eyes are super prominent. They're blue in the face, in the midst of this blackness.
I will say, if you're taking an hour to attune to stuff, the elemental will disappear.
That's so true. What is it? What is it, guys?
Well,
Let's take the hour.
I'm not gonna.
I'd prefer to take the hour.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fight anything like that without being better prepared.
That
makes a lot of
sense.
Away it goes. Just kind of vanishes into flickering flames. Maxwell skittishly stays to like the center of every room, trying to avoid any deep shadows. But does claim a few items quietly as well.
Do you allow a medicine check or something like that, or basically trying to figure out what's going on? Like it's like, oh, here, let me help you. Can I look at you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Is like after he gets all medicine and 14.
14. He doesn't appear injured. The skin on his arm is just a little bit singed here or there from where the firebolt struck him. But otherwise, it doesn't look like he's like there are no spots or like pustules or anything obviously wrong with him.
Can I do an insight check and see, like as Theo's trying to physically see if there's an issue? I'm just trying to look at his reactions.
Sure. Yeah, kind of get a read on what he's thinking.
I see nothing.
Yeah, he's a stranger to you. You've spent like a couple hours with him, and all of these have been under pretty tense situations. Yeah, nothing,
Oh, I've
nothing
never died
immediately
before.
obvious, but yeah, beyond his pretty obvious discomfort shows through.
While all that's going on, Orson's literally bouncing around the room, just running, finding different items that kind of call to him, and he finds a belt that really speaks to him for some reason. He just knows that he has to have it, so he goes ahead and grabs that and ties it around his waist, and a couple other items, but the belt really called to him.
Okay. As you kind of dig it out from under some rubble, you can see it's this weird trick of the light kind of thing. The little pebbles around it on the ground almost seem to vibrate for a second as you pass your hand over them, reaching toward the belt. Same thing that happened with the water before. Just this weird little like magnetism you're having toward these little pieces of the structure.
I don't like this.
Well, should we head on forward? I mean, I promise I won't touch things, but I feel like it might be a smart idea to get the foes out and dealt with before we try to move on forward. I mean, what do you guys think? Calder, I know you like you seem to be a very combat heavy, pronounced orcish fella. I don't know. What do you think? What's your read on all this?
Well, I still don't know where we are or why we're here, but I think it's safe to assume that, well, like you said, first things first, you shouldn't touch anything. Secondly, I think it's safe to assume that whatever just killed us, this is so bizarre. It's probably still in there. So, everyone be ready. And with that, I'm going to draw my newly acquired longsword, grasping it with two hands, and I guess I'm going to take a step forward and start walking into this hallway.
Okay. Before we get to that really quick here, as you guys are finishing up the attunements, and specifically Theo.
Yep, that's what I was going to hit up next.
Yep. As you are kind of focused in on some of your armor, and more importantly, this blade that you pulled out of the other room from that skeletal corpse that wrapped itself around Maxwell. As you're kind of focusing in on this, and like you just sense this essence inside of it that you kind of try to reach out to and understand. And as you're holding the sword, out of nowhere, it just erupts in this brilliant light all across the blade, and you guys all audibly hear a voice shout out, "Who's there? What is this? Stay back!" Emanating seemingly from the sword.
Be calm. Be calm. I am Theodoric.
Theodoric, where's Unriat?
Not familiar with that.
This is a stronghold, though, yes? Is it? Oh, thank God.
You know where you said this Unriat's stronghold?
You can almost, you in particular, Theo, can almost like feel whatever this presence is thinking, and like this sudden surge of adrenaline and panic, and then kind of subsiding into calm for just a second. It's been so long since it's just been darkness.
I somewhat understand the feeling.
What year is it?
That's a good question. I don't have that note in front of me again. or rather, for what it was for me.
It is
836.
610, according to
610,
you.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
the year is 610.
She goes 300. My God.
That's not correct. It's 607.
300 years. I've sat in darkness, awaiting Unriat's touch to awaken me again.
I do not know where we are. I do not know what lies ahead. But I will take you wherever you need to go.
You can feel this sword like kind of thinking at you, sort of like trying to mind meld a little bit, like get a read on who you are, and says, it was here. It attacked us here. Take me to his body.
You know of one body in here. Do you know how? Do you know what the last thing you remember or last thing you saw of him?
It was
Them.
it was dark, just crushing, heavy darkness.
I go back to the other room.
We can all hear this conversation, right?
You can all hear this conversation, yes.
we can all hear it. Okay,
That's so cool.
I want to go back to the remnants of that body and just kind of hold the blade out and everything towards it.
Okay, it is brilliantly bright. This room is pretty well lit by the sphere. This thing is casting quite a bit of additional light into the room too. Yeah, you get up to where the body was, and she goes, Yes, this was it. This is where he fell. Oh, Nriat.
Sorry for you. What were you fighting against?
It was, it's been so long. Just darkness, impossible darkness, in darkness in every impossible direction. It was a world that made no sense. I don't recall. As you're over here, you notice now that you're inspecting this a little closer with the light shining here. It catches on some little markings on the rock above where the skeleton lay previously. Little dots, almost like constellations or like indents of braille, sort of.
Hmm. Say, fellows, can I get you in here?
I walk up.
The rest of the party. Oh, and I also look at the sword. And I say, like as I said, you may call me Theodoric, or Theo if you'd like. What can I call you?
You may call me Dawn.
I follow Droom, so that is quite fitting.
I sensed a certain kinship with you.
And I point out the constellations and everything. I point out the indents and, kind of using the sword to, light it up and everything. It's like found something else in our room here.
Sure. You all kind of lean in and look at what he's looking at. It just looks like dots to you, really. Except for Theo, you are, I think, the only one that would actually understand this. Looking at it, this pointillized constellation little image is actually the celestial language. And there are just a few very crudely written words in this little constellation here. You catch Inky Depths, Balaublul, and Sunfire. I'm gonna type out that middle one because
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bow
Blue. Wow, that's a mouthful. And how do you pronounce the person's name that died? How do you
Unriat.
spell it? Unriat.
Unriat.
So Unriat. Unriat. Gotcha. Just from my notes.
I was actually really close to spelling it right without looking.
And then the last thing was Sunfire.
Yes. Inky Depths, Balablul, Sunfire.
And I translate that to the rest of the party. It's like, this is the celestial language. Inky depths, Balablul, Sunfire.
Would I know any significance to the name Balau Blue in my short time of living?
Go ahead and with your history, I don't think you would.
Okay. Damn.
Well, that's a strange name, Balablul. Hopefully something in here can help us ascertain exactly what that means or whom it refers to. Yeah.
Balablul. It doesn't quite strike a memory, but everything is so distant.
We'll get there, my friend.
Yeah, it seems like you've gone through a lot of hardship and you just woke up. So just take a minute to rest. I mean, Theo might need you to swing, but apart from that, we'll have plenty of time to rest, I hope.
Wherever the shadows gather, I will gladly strike.
For justice.
Dawn, do you know how to get out of here?
Assuming it's not caved in, it should be straight through that doorway, and carry on to the east.
All right, well, you heard Don. Let's find some acid creature.
A few things to address with the piece of talking scrap metal. You'll
Hold your
swing-
tongue, hold your tongue, Calder.
It's just how I refer to metal. Meant no offense. Just a few things. You'll swing into the shadows. Just be sure not to hit our friend who's covered in them. Also, I heard you say that you're waiting for Unriat's touch to awaken you, but I'm gonna point to Theo. That's not your name.
Which friend is covered in the shadow? The sword adds with a little bit of trepidation and a little bit of ready to strike.
Well, it's all right. I don't think there's any issues presenting.
It's me. Maxwell pipes up from the corner. It's me. I'm the shadowed one.
Seen so far, he's trustworthy, if not a little off.
Fine, I'll do that to you.
Dawnbringer almost pulls your arm over to point the blade at Maxwell, just to to get a better look at him.
Instead of as far as trying to be pointed at him,
Mm-hmm.
I do wrestle control with that, but
Okay.
I turn and I say, it's like, no, and I approach, and then I approach him.
Okay.
But I keep out of striking distance,
Okay.
hoping to exert a little bit of will, just oh gosh, how to put it.
You want to make a contested charisma check?
Yes.
Oh God. The rest of the
Sick.
campaign.
Like just a straight charisma check.
Yeah, just a straight charisma check.
Do 16.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah. The blade is sleepy. It seems doesn't have like full command of itself. You pretty easily you know what it wants to do, and you fairly easily divert its trajectory there.
At the same point, I'm just like trying to be. I'm still trying to be reassuring and calm it. Just like, no, don't
Mhm.
be cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But still allow it to inspect him.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks over him, and says, I can't sense it yet. Mentally to you, Theo, you hear the sword just say, watch him.
Well, just like I said, there's no issues here. Let's go and kill that acid thing.
I mentally, I basically make a mental affirmative to Don best I can
Okay.
for being the first time that I'm mentally communicating with an intelligent weapon.
Okay.
And then I think Des will just impatiently start walking over to the kitchen area,
Sure.
surprised at the party, like looking back and waiting a couple seconds, and then nobody's coming, and then he just continues to walk forward.
Maxwell will follow behind everybody.
I will also go with Des into the kitchen area.
Orson going
Sure,
for
let me
Brazier to
lead
Brazier.
the beginning of the party. Let me take front line.
Well, I was gonna say, shouldn't we approach this room a little more cautiously than all of us just barreling in?
I agree.
Orson hung behind and went to every Brazier and said, "Flame out!"
Well, as soon as I saw Des walk in, I am going to run in behind him and try and get in front of him. Not so much in the sense that I feel like I need to protect him, but more so make sure he doesn't touch anything.
Protect the world from him.
That's right.
Okay. Maxwell's going to post up next to this cauldron. You guys get into this room. You see your bodies from before, pocked and pit marked, starting to dissolve a little bit. Calder, your body near the southern section, the bear is still here. Your body near the southern section looks like it has been chewed upon quite a bit. Like a decent amount of it has been pulled off and probably eaten, as it is nowhere nearby.
I am going to immediately recognize that there was a cub here. Oh, the moral dilemma here. Do you kill it because it's going to turn into a big bad bear, or is that evil?
Was it impeding our path?
Called it.
Was this actually a door down there at the south?
At the very south, no. That is like a painting on the far wall. There are doors on either side into the bedrooms, but that's it.
These doors down here weren't. This one wasn't shattered, or it was shattered.
This one is pretty trashed. The one on the other side is on its frame, but it doesn't look like it's in great shape either.
Well,
It's a very
not-
old wooden door.
I'll not kill it, but I'll not leave it here to die either.
I am going to. Are there any? Ooh, okay. I'm gonna walk over here and empty out one of these grain sacks, essentially.
Okay.
And I am going to go down the hallway slowly, holding the grain sack in front of me, and I'm going to attempt to put this cub inside of the grain sack.
Okay.
That's gonna go so well.
I don't want to leave it here, but I also don't want to murder a cub. Okay, so I am going to slowly go down the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, the bear cub is still in this den. It's like hanging out on top of the bed that is mostly collapsed. You didn't really get a chance to look around this room. It's pretty well appointed. Like this looks like it was probably a pretty nice bed at one point. There's another painting on the western wall here. There's a big like an armoire along the south. There's a bookcase next to the bed over here. Looks like a pretty nice spot for the most part.
Does the cub see me?
The cub is aware of you. Yes, doesn't seem like it's exceptionally hostile. Like it's maybe more curious than anything, but it's not like it's not friendly.
I'm going to take 2 steps forward slowly,
Okay.
with my hands in the bag up as if not to alert it. And when I'm close enough, I'm going to very quickly attempt to grapple it with the bag.
Okay, I'd like you to give me an animal handling check first.
Oh, good lord.
Turns into
Solid.
animal wrestling.
Dang.
There you go.
You have dealt with wild animals in your time out on the road before, and you're able to just kind of cautiously creep up to this thing. With a 20, I'm going to say that you're passive enough in your approach that it doesn't fight too much until you start to get the bag over it, at which point it's too late. So you have acquired one bear cub in a sack. It is thrashing about though now that it's in the bag.
Okay, I am going to grab the top of the bag and spin the bear so that the bag tightens down on it so it can't squirm as much.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna toss it up over my shoulder and look around this room a little bit.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So while you're bear bagging, what are the rest of y'all doing here?
Go ahead.
That starts inching his way towards the top room.
You guys are all
Theo
laughing like
blocks
I'm
him.
crazy. This was brilliant. This was brilliant.
He was like, let me investigate first, Des.
All right, I feel like that's sensible.
More than sensible.
Holler
kind
at
of
me
want,
if you find anything or need any trouble. I'll be standing all the way over here.
basically just want to peek in here and everything and see if I can see where that acid thing was, or if it's in this room at all.
Yeah, as you peek back into the room, knowing exactly where it is, kind of hidden behind these other beakers and stuff, you can see that right in that southeast corner of the room, that same like glass jar with something inside, just slowly pulsing light through the green liquid.
Because there was a dead body in here
Yes, behind the desk.
behind the desk, and that's right. The acid didn't react until we messed with it. Des, I just basically pointed back to the corner. I'm like, Des, it's back in that corner again.
Well, I feel
I
like
want your. I say we leave it alone, but we continue investigating the room as cautiously as we can. I do not want to disturb it again.
Well, that seems like a fine and dandy idea until we get pockmarks in our systems, and then what? Then we have to come back here in a couple days' time.
I'll investigate them. And shield up. Shield up, I make my way in, just trying to get like give that corner a wide berth.
Okay. All right. So as you are up in here, let's see. Where are we at? Okay, so like I said last session, everything in here is pretty ruined and broken. Like that acid spin, whatever it was that killed this fellow behind the desk, also ruined the bookshelf. That's like pretty much collapsed in the corner. Books are spilling out. Some kind of liquid has spilled out. You can see just the traces, little bit of blood or something leaking from the body into like around some cracks in between the wood on the ground here. Yeah, what I guess what particular part do you want to investigate at this point? So the desk has a book and like a large glass paperweight on it. There's the body and there's the bookcase.
So, and the body is still like besides the pock marks and besides all that jazz, the body is still mostly intact, or
Body is skeletal. And yeah, just laying on the ground. It's not well armored. Looks like it was probably wearing leathers that are not in great shape anymore.
because I wanted to have Dawn take a look at this room as well and just try to be like, look, was any of this from Dawn, is any of this familiar as well?
This was all here before, yes. Yes, I think so. It's really gone to hell.
And do you have any idea who that would be?
It's not my Unriat.
Can I read what the title of the book, or kind of like what that book underneath the glass piece is like? What is it?
Sure.
Can I get a sense of what it is?
Yeah, you start flipping through the book a little bit, and it is filled with sigils and markings and like diagrams and all kinds of different stuff. There are a number of like runes with like formulae next to each rune, kind of. Yeah. It looks like it might be a spell book of some sort or some other kind of advanced piece of writing like that.
Yeah. Go ahead and I'll grab that. Go ahead and I'll grab that take that with me, and I'll go ahead and head out again. Oh, go ahead.
Are you taking the paperweight as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Rather, does it look like it's? I mean, like, is there anything special about it, or is it just like a bauble?
It looks like there is something inside the glass. It's hard to tell exactly what.
Okay.
It might be a shard of earth or like obsidian or something. There's some kind of what looks like a hard something inside. And on the underside, on the flat side, there is a part of a rune or something, some kind of symbol carved into the bottom of it.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll take both of those out of the room then at this point. Again, making sure to go around this side, because these paths were both blocked off, and, basically want to show those to the other party members to see if they can make heads or tails out of the book or whatever as well. It appears that there's a spell book. Not my forte.
While you are bringing that out, Orson, you wandered on down. What are you doing down south?
Orson's gonna peek in and see this old bear thing going on. He's gonna give his head a shake and look towards the other door and slowly peek in to see if there's more bear inside of this room.
There is no bear in the right side room.
All right.
This one, similar to the left, looks very well appointed. There is a chest in the southeast corner. There's a painting on the northern wall. What was once probably a nice rug, what was once a nice bed.
No bodies or anything in here, though.
No bodies in here, no.
I go open the chest.
Okay. I'm going to... Let's see, where are we at here? So, Calder, you were also checking out the western bedroom here. There's not a ton to be found here. There are a few books on the shelf. Will you give me an investigation check?
I would love to.
And actually, Orson, will you do the same, please?
Yeah.
Nice work, guys. All right. So just Calder, even painting's not really your forte, but this display on the wall is huge and looks like it is of fantastic quality. It depicts an enormous dragon curled possessively around a sphere. It looks like on the sphere, it looks like there are like mountains in some spots, oceans in others, like it's curling around a globe of sorts. Um, and from your time with Vadius, I think this is obvious enough. You would recognize this as probably depicting the god Zymor, who is often portrayed as a large dragon, and typically worshipped as like the ground that we walk upon. Now, in addition to that painting, there are also a few other goodies. You open up the armoire. There are a few robes inside, some standard clothing that looks like it has faded over the years, but 3 robes that are that still show like they're in perfect health, aside from being a bit dusty. And while you're dinking around on the bookshelf, you also find a small little jewelry box with a ring inside. I've added those to the party loot for you.
Okay. I will
Again,
toss the robes over my shoulder. I will, for now, put the ring in a pocket, and I will begin to walk with my squirming bear backpack out into the general area again.
okay. I'm gonna assume that at some point here, you guys take the time to figure out what this stuff is by attuning or whatever. So I'm just giving you the full names right now, just for ease. Orson, on the other side, as you open up the chest, you find specifically a wicked-looking long knife and a musical instrument resting inside the chest there. And then as you're taking those out and kind of looking around, looking at what's out there, you also notice another small case underneath the bed. And as you take that out and lift it up, you find 4 like identically sized gems. One ruby, one opal, one diamond, and one sapphire, all laid in this like velvet case inside this box. Yeah, this kind of matched set of gems. And the painting in your bedroom also looks like it was done by a master painter. It depicts a bunch of happy trees and a twisting river that looks like this little veil that it's showing is just coming into spring.
Orson's going to toss the stuff onto the bed, and then as he notices the painting, he's going to walk around the bed, sit on the bed, and just stare at the painting for a while. Being a artisan himself, he wants to sit and appreciate the art.
Yeah, for sure. It was masterfully done.
Just hang out here for a while, and just stare into it.
Okay. It almost, as you're sitting and staring at it, it's got to be a trick of the light. It almost looks like some of the flowers are very, very slowly blossoming on the page or on the canvas.
He's just gonna focus on it harder.
You don't get anything further than that.
Okay.
What's next, guys?
Well, if we're taking time to attune to these items, I mean, would it be fair to like just swap one that I'm currently wearing for a new one?
Yeah, if you want to take the time to do that, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
This is cooler.
It is much cooler, though there may be party backlash on this. But
Oh yeah.
oh
What are you
yeah,
stealing.
I'm gonna take the cloak of protection off, and I am going to
Really?
put on the ring of spell storing, and I'm curious what is in it.
Um,
Oh my god.
Richard's like, what?
These items are insane.
You take off, or as you put on the ring, you become aware that it currently is housing the spell Vitriolic Sphere.
Okay.
Yes, no idea what that is.
No, I don't.
It's basically an acidic fireball.
Okay.
A lot of acid themes here.
Yeah, I don't know if I should like that or not. Okay.
I looked up the instrument, but I don't think it's a 5e specific item. But nonetheless,
The cittern.
yes, nonetheless, does
You're
Grabs
snagging that
onto
one.
it.
All right.
starts playing a bit. I don't think he's a liar. What is a lyre? A lyre's like a harp, right?
A lyre's like a
Lyre.
guitar.
It's like a larger guitar, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a harp. It's a small like harp thing.
A lyre?
A lyre, a lute is a guitar.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I have those backwards.
Well, I'm not proficient in citterns, but brung, brung. His harp training.
Sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
I'm kind of surprised
about
this
that.
isn't on D&D Beyond.
You said you weren't proficient, so it hurt my ears, Des.
I'll figure that out. I'll make a note to check on that later.
Ow, bing, boom, boom, bing, boom, boom.
This
Wonderwall.
looking dagger is nasty.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
I was just looking
insane.
at that.
It's legitimately insane.
What
We're
in
fighting
the world?
gods today.
I rolled.
I've never heard
I
of
rolled
this thing
this
before.
shit randomly.
We're fighting gods.
Oh, it's
If you
legendary.
kill someone with it, they can only be revived with a wish spell?
And then if
What?
you have 5 souls, you can use a reaction to attack. And then if they're under 75 HP, they instantly die. Oh, damn.
Yeah, we're just gonna put that one back on the
I
wall.
might be switching to. Can I two-hand a dagger? I think it's the most important
you
question.
can.
here.
It still does
absolutely can.
1d4 damage.
Yeah, I
Have
don't
you-
know how I feel about that.
It was a joke.
Two-handed dagger, just 1d4
insane.
stab them.
Not a goody two shoes paladin, but there are limits.
Stealing people's souls, you know?
Well, how longer should we wait till we further investigate this whole stronghold? Was it?
I'm ready to get out myself.
Have you all looked at the paintings? They're amazing.
No, I haven't. Show me them. I'm curious.
There's one in that bedroom.
That's
I swear that the flowers were growing.
The flowers are growing?
How's the bear cub doing currently?
He's kind of settled down, but still agitated.
I'm gonna look over to Theo and say, "I'm also ready to leave. We need to get this creature outside."
Do I
Or
see
to
the
drag
flowers
Des
growing?
into this room.
Des does see it. Yeah, if you look really carefully, you do see the flowers ever so slightly. It's like they're green and they're just starting to like push the little tips of their buds out through the top.
it gives me the imagery. Have you ever seen a sundial before, Orson? I feel like it's a sundial where you can't really tell at time's passing, but if you look at it ever so slightly, over 30 minutes, you'll see, whoa, it's all the way over here when it used to be here.
You're
Yeah.
a very smart young man.
I try. Thank you. Nobody's ever said that to me. I really appreciate. Anyway, he starts walking out.
Oh, you got your mask. I was gonna ruffle your hair, but you get your creepy ass mask.
You can still ruffle my hair. I think my hair is out.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And I want to go ahead and open up this door slowly, cautiously, carefully, but
This
not
door
really. Yeah.
is open. You see a room before you of statues on either side. It looks like a couple plants that have since died are also lining the hallway there. The blood trail that we saw previously, let me continue painting here. Oh, nope, that's a square. How do I undo that? Okay, we'll pretend that's a line. I'll figure out how to erase that later. Here we go. The blood trail continues through this hallway, through the next door, and on beyond that. The same one that led back to kind of the bear's den before. Now, what catches your eye immediately about this room? Two things. There are. I'm going to put a circle. We'll make it a circle. There is a heavy scorch mark on the ground about here. It looks like there are two kind of lines of scorch upon the ground there. And also, this statue, so all of these statues are upright and holding weaponry. Some of them, like one has a halberd, one has a sword and a shield. They look pretty decorative. This one is, instead of being upright, is standing with his weapon forward on the ground, and its stone blade is pinning down another skeleton. The skeleton looks like it was coming toward you, like it had just passed through that door and was making its way towards you guys whenever it got caught by this.
Oh, I have a really bad idea.
Des will say to Dawn,
Don, do you have any idea what this could be?
I've never seen anything like this here, no.
Well, that's interesting.
This was a peaceful respite when this was our home.
Calder, you have any ideas? Doesn't look safe to pass through this room.
Well, I've got one, and I'm gonna hold up the bag with the baby bear in it.
"Oh my god!"
Well, Calder, the bear didn't do anything. It's you killing the bear, and that's not quite fair to the bear. I think we had a dilemma before this where you were like, it's not fair to kill the bear, but the bear is going to grow up. Well, just let the bear grow up. We'll be out of here. It's going to be fine, okay? We don't have to worry about the bear.
As I can see, your mind works as quickly and inefficiently as your hands do.
What is that supposed to mean?
You touched the jar. Show a little restraint. If we leave the bear here and we end up back here and the bear is big, could result in our death again. The only option is to remove the bear from here. Me tossing this bear cub into this hallway isn't necessarily me killing it. It's got just as much of a chance of survival as us walking through this hallway.
Calder, if you want to avoid the responsibility of not killing this bear, you could just leave this bear to its death. But instead of choosing to befriend the bear and hopefully creating a peaceful alliance, so every time we stop by here, every time we wake up from our dead bodies, we can say hi to the bear, you decide to go and kill the bear, which I don't think is a very, very kind thing to do. And look at it, it's in a bag. You literally just put it in a bag, and that's not fair to the bear. The bear doesn't even know what's coming to it. Look,
So
all I'm saying is this.
what you're saying is I should let the bear out of the bag.
Well, that's not what I'm saying that, but not let it roam free to here. Just let it be how it was. You already killed its mother. Like, what more could you do to it?
As they're arguing, Orson goes and grabs a hunk of bread and throws it down the hallway.
I'll move out of the way.
Nothing happens to the bread. It clunks along the stone, rolling to a stop at the head of the skeleton.
I'm going to. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, in that case, Theo takes one step in, like one tentative step in.
Seems
as
fine.
Theo starts to step in, Des is gonna clutch tighter to his wand, and all of a sudden, to his staff, and all of a sudden, like just purple streaks go up. I'm casting Mage Armor.
Okay.
Orson just remembered about the stones. He's gonna run back quick and grab the 4 stones, put them in his pockets. Okay.
Okay.
Shinies.
Yeah. No, Theo, you feel fine. Statues don't attack you. You're good.
I don't like the scorch marks on the ground and everything like that, so I'm going to try to do a jump to like this square over here.
Okay. Yeah,
because I don't trust it.
You're strong enough. You can do that. No problem. Those statues don't attack you either.
Are the torches or whatever these are they lit?
The torches are lit here. Yes. Yeah, the ones on either side here.
That's interesting. Okay.
So you said the statue on the south is already pinning like a skeleton on the ground.
Yeah, kind of in the doorway there.
Mm-hmm.
He walked past the scorch mark already.
Yep, I hopped over it.
He jumped over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take another step in and everything and just, I don't know. I want to try to investigate, like, does it look like this statue on the north can move? Does it look, or does it like, I mean, can I?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation or an arcana check.
Well, either which way, you're going to go with a -1. So, 8.
Yeah, looks like a statue.
I love that.
They're stone, not metal or anything.
They are
right?
stone, yeah.
Okay, I am going to, as I'm walking up behind Orson, I'm going to look back at Des and just say, I'll let the bear out of the bag, and like kind of gesture towards the hallway, and then I'm going to smile, toss it back over my shoulder, and take a step inside. I'm also going to attempt to hop this, the scorch marks.
Okay, yeah, and you do so, no
I'm
problem.
just walking around it. I'm assuming that this is wider. It appears wider. So.
Yeah, you can make your way around it. Yeah, I'll walk like underneath the torches there. That's okay.
Yeah.
Des will
Well,
wait in the doorway.
Although there is a statue where you're standing right now, so.
Oh, I thought I could
Theo, what are you doing?
Going up
Are you
to
just stopped looking at that statue?
I'm just kind of seeing, I'm just letting everybody else figure out what they're doing. I didn't want to hog all the actions yet. Also just trying to figure out if I'm just going to go for it or not.
Oh, let's get out of this room.
Yeah, all right. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go hup, and just basically I'm trying to end up over here.
I'm going to go
I
right
haven't,
behind him into the next room.
I haven't revealed the next room at all.
Oh,
Allow
Sorry.
me to do
I
so.
disappeared.
He's gone.
He's dead.
Into the darkness. Nothing
It's
happens.
the bathroom.
The blade is already down, it seems. It does not rise to strike you again, and the north statue doesn't move either.
Come on, Des. Maxwell. Be careful.
This room here, so you can see the door on the eastern side is much sturdier than the others have been here. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just, I think, reveal the rest of this because you'll be able to see out pretty well. Yeah, so this looks like it's kind of an entryway, if you will. You see a few very large chests along the northern side of the room. Another kind of armoire cabinet thing. Looks like there's a little like wash basin here, though it is currently empty, made of some sort of marble or something like that. A little table, and down to the south, there is one more little side passage that you can see about yay of. To the east, it opens up. This last section to the right here is all natural cave. That looks like that's maybe the end of this purposefully carved section.
These are the chests up here.
Yeah.
Des will just like creak the one he's next to, open slowly.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do here with y'all, I'm gonna drop this additional stuff into, that's supposed to be a 6, into party loot here.
Okay.
We're gonna call these quantum gear, where
Whoa!
What was that?
Quantum
calling this
gear.
quantum gear, where I basically dropped in, for the folks following along that can't see this sheet, I dropped in a thing that says any simple weapon, any martial weapon, any armor shield. So whenever you guys want to draw against this as a mundane weapon or armor or anything for equipping yourself, just take one off of whatever the item is that you're drawing from.
I see.
Make sense?
I understand. Okay.
Yeah. So the same one could be a great sword or a longbow or a warhammer or whatever, just
Makes
for ease of bookkeeping and stuff.
I see.
Same in this
Okay.
armoire then?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
that's
different?
basically
Okay.
everything that's in this room here. In
Okay.
the or along the wall, you also see hanging several holy symbols. Looks like there's like one for one of every god, two of a few. Again, we're gonna call those whatever deity you want it to be to. It's there. There are a couple little like miscellaneous wands and crystals and things in a drawer somewhere as arcane or musical focuses. All that kind of more mundane stuff is in this room.
One me, just a guy and his dog. I'll grab a Droom, one, and I'll just put it in my pocket.
That's what I was going to say too. Yep.
You're grabbing
But
a.
I'll do it when Theo isn't looking.
Yeah, I was going to say is that Theo. That's one of seeing all that. He's pretty well armored up and everything, and so he's not worried about that. But he definitely makes sure to grab a holy symbol of Droom.
Okay. You do so, and you put it around your neck, and darkness instantly consumes your vision.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no!
Bear, none of the rest of you see this. Theo, you're seemingly transported into a barren landscape lit only by the flickering of hellish flames, both nearby and in the distance. You sense malicious intent just beyond your limited view, closing in, before a light bursts on the horizon, like just a pillar of light. This golden energy rises into the sky, arcing towards you. And as it approaches, you crouch and cover your head as it crashes to the ground with a blinding roar. The jagged-toothed faces in the darkness evaporating at its presence with pain shrieks. When you look up, a single creature stands over you, less a man than a shining suit of metal and wood. A warhammer leveled menacingly at you. Glowing yellow eyes glower at you, judging your worth. This is no place for mortal. It pauses, staring deeper into you. Your vision blurs, and for a moment you see both this creature above you and yourself crouching below you. You shake your head and once again look up at this being. A long silence fills the air. before its eyes narrow to mere slits. "I don't know how you found me, but you are under scrutiny," it announces decisively before launching itself into the air and out of sight. Your vision returns to the foyer with your companions.
Take the holy symbol off for a moment and just. What was that? I saw something. I don't know what it was. I don't know. That was. I put it back on to see if it happens again.
It doesn't happen again.
Something. I don't know whether it was malicious intent or not. I don't know if it was demon or what. But
It
something spoke to me as soon as I put it on. I had a vision.
I am going to walk over to Theo, and I'm going to place my hand firmly upon the shoulder of his armor. I'm going to stare deeply into his eyes, and I'm going to say,
Theo, I would not consider us friends. We've awoken in these strange circumstances, but in my experience, when you bleed next to somebody, it breeds brotherhood. We died in that room back there. Perhaps you should trust more in the flesh around you than the metal you've just acquired.
and I'm going to glance down at the sword at his hip and the holy symbol he's wearing, and I'm just going to throw the bear back over my shoulder and take 2 steps towards the door.
In the corner, Daz is like he's hearing Theo say all this stuff, and he's like secretly trying to put on the Droom holy symbol
Yeah, I think
to
he's
see if anything.
he's distracted enough. You can pretty easily get one on without him noticing. No, the same does not happen to you.
He takes it off and just puts it, like disappointed, puts it away in his pocket.
Come on, Drew.
I want it.
Check
Theo-
this room down here.
Sure.
I was going to say is that Theo spends the next couple of minutes in prayer, trying to find.
I do want to say really quick, Theo, you get the very slight impression that Calder doesn't take well to harsh words, and being told to watch his tongue was like, you're going to take the side over this piece of metal than somebody who just died for you. Just a tad, just a little, offended.
miffed?
Just a little miff.
Oh,
He
shoot.
died last.
Daz is gonna
Died
watch
last.
over Theo. He's probably gonna sit on. This is a toilet, right? Or at least that's what
It's like a
clocked it
wash
as.
basin. Orson has found the
Gotcha.
toilet.
I see. Okay, I will sit besides the wash basin and just watch Theo as he prays.
Oh,
just like
thank
watching
God.
I got a shit.
It smells so bad, Orson.
what did you do there?
So, Orson, 2 things about this toilet. One,
Jeez, I was just kidding. Okay, yeah.
there is a very finely made spear standing against the wall in the corner here.
Of course there is.
And as you sit down to relieve yourself, old men with their tiny bladders,
Right.
you put your hands on either side of.
And he sits to make sure the seat stays clean.
It's better for the circulation if you sit.
You put your hands on either side, and you notice there are some grooves in the wood
Yeah.
that, when you're done and upon closer inspection, it looks like they are almost like finger marks that drag toward the hole and vanish. Nothing happened to you. You're fine.
All right.
He just peed on someone.
Terrible way to go. We walk over to the sink and be like, "Oh,
Oh, you know what? I failed to mention. Calder, when you were checking out the bedroom, you also found 12 silver, 25 gold, and 1 platinum.
Oh, I'm
Money.
definitely pocketing all that.
Oh,
Nice.
guy.
Brothers bonded by blood. I'm pocketing
It's,
that.
it's fine. We're carrying around armor that's worth 100,000
yeah,
gold.
fortunes.
So
100%.
Where do you add gold to your inventory?
there's a
It's
specific money
in the
spot.
inventory tab, and you'll see like on the top right of that tab a 0 and like a.
Oh,
gold.
okay, there we go. It was
And then
12
put
silver.
whatever.
12 silver, 25 gold, and 1 platinum.
So Orson, was
Okay.
the Tola any good? What was it worth the stank you brought into this space?
And he-
Well,
You'll one day you'll understand. You can't always hold it.
I guess you can't.
Enough of the lollygagging and time wasting. I need to know where I am.
And I'm going to start walking out the hallway.
Okay. You head outside. It comes to at the edge of that there. It comes to. Go ahead.
Before I do that, I do want to see if this door can close firmly as to prevent any other wildlife from coming from this cave into this place. Because in my mind, I need to come back here at some point. And I would prefer to do so without having to fight off a pack of wolves or another grizzly bear.
Yes, this main door is sturdy enough and reinforced that it does close solidly.
Okay.
Somebody left the door open.
Yes. So I will urge them, close the door behind you.
Okay, you
I'll try.
as you get to the edge of this little cavernous area, it comes to what looks like a solid rock wall. And as you're standing there staring at it, going like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I thought I was out of here." You get this huge burst of wind just straight through the rock. And as it does so, and that kind of cognitive dissonance kicks in, the image of the rock sort of shimmers and fades, and you can see through it out to this mountainous landscape covered in snow that looks kind of down onto a little valley that is running down a downhill from there. Orson, as this huge burst of wind rustles your hair and tosses your clothes back, your vision is suddenly overcome by these images of this huge sprawling world. You see mountained peaks. From your vision, you see yourself riding a tree down a mudslide, conjuring a wall of flame to turn a tidal wave that's rushing toward you into steam. At one moment, you're standing on a shard of earth jutting out of the water. Flames are dancing across the water's surface, spiraling up toward the sky, like all around you. Wind is whipping your clothes. And this figure, as your vision kind of shifts, it's not quite you. It's some other middle-aged fellow. Despite their clothes whipping in every direction, they remain poised, chanting, moving their hands in very purposeful movements. A dark sphere that is resting before them kind of distorts your vision around it, rippling light and everything else around it as it grows lighter and larger and lighter still as this person focuses in on it, continuing to chant. The elemental spiral draws closer, narrowing until you can feel the heat from that fire searing the back of your neck. With a final shout, they jam their arms forward into the sphere, and everything is swallowed in bright white light and silence. You snap back to reality.
Well, think I understand what those other two saw. Onward and upward.
Dang, it's cold.
It is, yeah. The mountains here are beautiful. It looks like from your vantage point, it is a relatively clear day, overcast but kind weather. And you can see looking down, it's mountains and hills, but all of it, like to your right, the mountain range continues up, and you can see it goes on into the distance. To your left, it kind of descends in a downward trajectory, and it looks like a ways off. There is probably a valley or something below where the snows fade and flatter land awaits you.
Is
Well, I'm no
there?
navigator.
Go ahead.
I'm no navigator, but that way looks like the way we go.
Does Orson, or I guess anyone, recognize landmarks, anything?
Everybody can give me a survival check if you'd like.
Survival. Ugh. I've not been rolling well.
Yeah, none of y'all
Same
are
here.
here.
15.
From this distance, no, you can see there is like a hilly outcropping way out there. Hard to say exactly how far. But no, there aren't any major obvious landmarks in front of you from this vantage point.
And we can't see like a village or anything in the distance, or
Not from here, no.
Do I see any like large, what I would discern as like a fluffy pile of snow nearby?
Definitely.
I am going to pull this bag over my shoulder, and I'm going to start to unspin it so it's not as tight. So if I were to drop it, the hole would open essentially. And I'm just going to say, "Good luck, little fella." And I am going to throw it as far as I can onto one of those fluffy snow
The
piles.
big fluff piles. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a strength check. Let's see how far you
Oh,
throw this.
God.
You throw this fella.
Just
No
straight
bears
strength
for harm.
roll.
You can make it athletics if you want.
Fluffy pile was just snow on rocks.
20.
wow, good thing you have that. Holy,
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Oh my god, +8.
Yeah. You
Level 1,
toss
by the way.
him. You toss him several feet. Like this cub weighs a fair amount, and you chuck it like nothing. It's actually fairly impressive to the weaker among you. It lands in this snowy patch. It kind of like does the cartoon imprint into the snow, and then just kind of poofs. And as it emerges from the snow, the pile kind of collapses and it shakes itself off and just kind of looks at you and looks around and kind of starts wandering a little bit. Calder, as it emerges from this snowbank, you find yourself overcome with a vision as well. You see, not necessarily from your point of view, but dozens of snowy, white-skinned elves bursting forth from snowbanks on both sides of this little ravine and bearing down on their enemies below. Armored folk shouting and screaming in war cries. One particular figure among them stands out in stark contrast, with vicious shards of ice jutting out from their own fearsome armor that looks like it's made of half steel and half bone. The image shifts to a blazing hearth in a humble home, to a family sitting by the fire, the furs draped around a woman and a child. It shifts again to this war scene, screams and shouts of battle across a snowy hill. It shifts again, and you're watching a hut burn as a cold breeze whips past. It shifts again, and you see life leaving the eyes of a man held aloft, impaled on a massive sword held by your hands. And then finally, you see the image of a clean white snowbank stained red as this vicious figure turns and walks into the trees out of sight before your vision returns.
I'm gonna immediately reach down and pick up a handful of snow and just whitewash myself, and like get and then I'm gonna look. Is there
any resemblance to anything in that vision to what I see around me, other than the obvious of snow?
The terrain in this vision was a lot softer than what you're looking at right now. More hills than mountains.
Okay. Okay, and we all have no idea where the hell we are.
Yeah, no one's checks identified where you guys are at. Although I will say that having escaped from this little stronghold here, I forgot to give XP last week, so we'll lump that in with this one. Y'all have enough to hit level 2. And I
Okay.
will remind you that training takes time here, and either a mentor or some kind of focus to hone your powers or introspectively understand what is happening to you.
So what you're saying is we can't just level up.
I'm saying there is a memory-focused large white sphere in this very structure that could serve that purpose if you would like to take a week to meditate and understand what's going on here.
A week. Let's do it.
So the way I run it is it's leveling up
I don't know
takes
where we are.
1 week for every for half of your proficiency bonus. So starting out 2 proficiency, 1 week.
Okay.
We have no idea where we are. We know this place has food and water and a decent bathroom. We should definitely stay here for a little while, get our bearings.
Yeah.
It's all, well, I have no idea where we are. I just started traveling not long into my life. I mostly stayed in one place. I do not recognize where we are. I could use some time to just come to terms with what's going on. How about the rest of you?
Real quick, Corey, when you say it's going to take, is that like that's all we can do for that week? Is just basically training and
Yeah, it'd be like light activity. Like you could finish kind of poking around this place if there were little things you wanted to check out or whatever. But yeah, that'll be like, your 8-hour day is training.
And because basically what I was going to suggest was that during that week and everything like that, that we maybe like in pairs or something like that, like do some light scouting right outside the entrance, like not too far out and everything like that, but just basically travel a little bit further out and everything like that from the entrance and stuff like that to see like, okay, like maybe at most like an hour away to try to like say like, okay, can we see anything, during that week? I mean, would that be be something kind of acceptable for us to be able to do, to again just try to point out some landmarks and everything like that too, just to be like, okay, maybe to a certain degree, like if there's the materials to do it and everything like that, maybe we could even make a small map of immediately in front of where we're at, is kind of my thought.
Yeah, sure. If you guys want to take a little bit of time, you won't be able to get too far away from it. But like you said, yeah, like an hour, maybe at the end of the afternoon after focusing your attention on this sphere and memories and stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Let's call that another round of survival checks. I'm going to say 2 people can do it. The typical 1 person make the check, 1 help, or 2 people make the check, and we'll call that the scouting.
Not going to do this check.
I suppose Theo and I, yeah. Or Orson, would you want to do it?
I can do a check.
Actually, it would probably be, you're probably going to be better at it, Orson.
Sure.
I mean, on a scale of like, 1 to 5, I'd say I'm a 2 for survival checks.
I'd say I'm about a 2.
Orson, Maxwell, and Theo have the highest survival check.
Okay.
All right, so I don't mind going out and doing it. Okay.
No, it's just both roll. It's fine.
Roll higher than a 10 at some point.
Yeah, it's a little too foreign. There aren't any obvious landmarks here. You're going to have to get a little farther, a little closer to the ground to figure out exactly where you're at.
Fair. Maybe have a path at least.
Yeah. There is actually, I will say that as you're scouting around, it does look like there is kind of a carved path down from the little landing outside of this illusory rock face that hides the entrance to this
Right.
cavern fortress thing, that at least starts you on your journey.
Perfect.
Okay, so if you guys want to take a second and level up to 2, roll your HP, all that jazz.
That's
Do we
right.
have to roll, or can we take the average?
You can take the low average, or you can roll.
I'm going to roll. That's fun. How do I do level ups?
It's in on the sheet. The little like kind of hammer and anvil sign on the top right will take you to the editor, and then you've just got to go to the classes section and increment your bard level from 1 to 2.
Me when I'm confused. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing the level 2, but I'm not sure how to get around choosing spells, HP, things like that.
Oh, gotcha. Let me get in there. I'll help walk through this a little bit. So yeah, so on the
Didn't
class,
have me do my.
upgrade bard to 2. Under that same tab, if you go to the spells subheader under the bard class, it'll give you an option to add any additional spells that you.
What about
have known.
rolling hit? What about rolling?
Hit dice, you're going to have to roll separately. I don't think you can do that in the D&D Beyond portal. So
that's
just
what I was
roll
wondering.
roll a D10 or D8 or whatever your hit die is in the chat here.
Oh, that's not good.
And I get my Constitution bonus.
You do.
Which is
in
what?
the hit point thing, don't include your con bonus.
Oh no!
Just add the roll to your rolled HP. It'll automatically add the Constitution.
Ah. Spell. Should I add?
Come on, baby.
That was a very poor roll.
That was a. I don't even see callers. I see Orson's 1 and Theo's 9.
Oh, I just rolled in the.
I don't see yours either. Weird.
I rolled.
So
I rolled a 3.
Put a 1 plus our con modifier. Great. All right, we got a lot of health at level 2. Oh no!
Mine is a 1d8, I believe. Oh. Hey, I got a good amount of HP.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'm in
So
trouble.
just-
I'll let
Hey.
Robert roll for himself when he gets back.
rolled
How do you
HP.
get done with it then? You just. Oh, okay. Just go back to that. Got it.
It's a fighting style. Oh man.
Wait, what?
Decisions.
Oh, I see. I have to add my rolled HP. Is that equal? No, wait, that's not right.
Oh, hey, I got Action Surge though. That's
Oh, hey,
nice.
action surge. Nice. I thought you already had that. Oh, maybe not. Oh, you get the restore thing on level 1.
Second wind.
Second wind. That's what it was. I rolled a 7, but it didn't add my con bonus.
It should add that. Like you just enter the rolled number, and it should add your con bonus automatically on your sheet.
It did not.
Action.
Okay.
That's Blessed Warrior.
Why am I so confused? First, I'm using D&D Beyond. I am lost, but
Corey, can I find a pipe and
Like a smoking pipe.
tobacco? Yes, anywhere in this place.
Let's let the dice decide. Roll yourself a d20 on an 11 plus. Yes.
Hey.
Huzzah! Yes, there is a pipe in the study.
Okay, I am going to have a seat at this table. Throughout the week, I'm going to smoke this pipe and I'm going to meditate on the vision that I've had.
Okay.
I am just gonna go back to that sphere. Just interact with it. Wonder what I'm missing.
Yeah, Des, you haven't had a vision like the others have, which is strange. Yeah, unclear what if something specific triggered it, or why aren't you special? That's the question, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just like putting it on the Droom's holy symbol over and
Just
over again
and
to
over
see
and
if
over
it
again.
works.
Calder, I'm actually going to give you with your passive investigation as you're rooting around for a pipe, and you find one in the study. You're kind of like digging through desk drawers and peeling through the bookcase and everything. And while you're in there, you are an enormous creature, and the weight of your foot kind of breaks one of the floorboards underneath you, and the other edge of it that snaps off kind of lifts up a little bit. It's right along the edge of where some of the blood from the skeleton would have dripped, like along the creases.
Okay. I will very slowly reach down and just lift that board up with one finger.
Okay. You do so. It underneath it, or inside, I guess below the fuller board, was what I'm trying to say. Words are escaping me. You find a small little liquid-soaked notebook and a cracked crystal sphere, both tucked away underneath this little hidey hole.
Well, Calder's never been much for study. I will look. What does this cracked sphere look like to me?
It looks like a little circular crystal sphere. It's just got a pretty large crack running about halfway around it on one side, and it's kind of split off in a couple other directions.
You said that the book was liquid soaked. Does it look like this? This sphere had liquid in it at one point?
It doesn't look cracked that badly. But I guess when I say liquid soaked, I mean that the book looks, you know how paper, when it gets really, really wet, it bloats and it kind of like distorts
so
like
it's
that.
not currently
Not
wet.
currently wet, no. Yeah, it looks like it was very wet at one time.
Okay, I will really quickly just thumb through the pages. Is there like discernible writing on it?
There is in some spots. It's a little tough to make out. The whatever spilled on this thing damaged it pretty badly. A lot of the pages are stuck together. The ink is running in some spots. I'm going to see if this reproduces properly in the text chat. But what you see is, oh, it doesn't want to do that. Okay. What you see is something along. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Let me paste.
The suspense. A dead corpse.
How about that? Are you guys seeing any of this chat come through?
No,
No.
I'm not.
Weird.
But in my mind, I'm imagining a mimic.
Okay, just I'm gonna reload.
Eat him.
I've been so concerned about mimics this whole time. I'm like, that's a mimic. That's a mimic. The toilet I thought was gonna be a mimic. It could still very well be a mimic,
Toilet.
but maybe it just feels full.
I would
That
never.
would be the worst.
Okay.
It's like that Jurassic Park scene where the guy's in the toilet and the T-Rex eats it.
You've
For some
seen that
reason it
movie?
won't.
I've seen that.
For some reason it won't let me paste this in the above VTT chat, so I'm putting it on the party loot. This is kind of an example of the kind of information that you're able to glean from this little passage or from this booklet. There are a number of dates, times, notes, Seems like these are names and activities or something like that, but it's all pretty damaged.
Okay.
1901 T.
Hey, stay out of my notebook. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm going to walk out and find where Theo and Dez are. With the crystal ball and the notebook, and I'm gonna walk up and I'm just gonna hold it out in front of Theo, and I'm gonna never been much for reading. Found this in the other room. Might interest you. And I'm just gonna kind of like hand it to him, and then I'm gonna look at Dez and I'm gonna say, "Catch," and I'm just gonna throw him the crystal ball.
And he catches it.
You bobble it, but catch it. It's pretty if damaged.
Well, actually, I'm not really. Well, I can't decipher what the magical crystal ball says, but I would love to take a look at that notebook, Theo, if you let me.
Yeah, Theo wants to just take a glance at it and then is like, yes, of course.
Sure.
Calder's gonna walk over and I'm gonna grab the notebook from Theo and I'm gonna walk over and grab the crystal ball from Dez and I'm just gonna go, gave the wrong gifts, and I'm gonna switch my arms like this and hand the other one to each of them.
Dez reaches up.
Can I get a history check from
Dez loves
Theo and
paper.
Dez, please?
Dez loves paper. Come on.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, man, that's appropriate.
Oh,
I'm a newsy guy.
Hey, Theo rolled above a 10.
There we go. And I had a penalty.
All right, so you guys know that that first line is kind of a standard date notation that stands for the first Earth's Day, which is a day of the week, of Skyfire, one of the months in the middle of summer. 1901 is an interesting year because it's only the year 612 or 610, right?
607.
Depending on who you ask.
TB, Des, this is where your check gives you that little bit of extra tidbit here. This is the spot where the current age would typically be notated, and y'all are living in the age of storms. It's been consistent since you were a child. Like, you've been dealing with storms and crazy weather all your lives. TB is not how you abbreviate Age of Storms, which is AS. This comes probably from an earlier period, and you know that the one immediately before the Age of Storms was called the Burgeoning.
Do I know what it was about? What it was like? Why it was called that?
It was called that. Yeah, with the 22, I'll say you know that it was called the Burgeoning because that was when the mortal races spread across the land of Illistera.
Well, this stands for the burgeoning. If y'all don't know what that is, maybe you need a history lesson. And he's looking, like, as he's saying that, he's looking straight at Calder.
Calder's just gonna do one of these, like, I think I'll have a pipe, and walks back into this room and just sits down, quietly, like sitting there, smoking a pipe and pretending not to pay attention, but also kind of listening.
Yeah.
Theo just goes, go on, Des.
He just goes on and explains what you mentioned, but probably in like this really kid naive way, where it's like, yeah, it's like where all moms and dads went across the lands and had birds fly them their babies. But I digress. And then he looks at the notebook. I was wondering if I could ascertain by some sort of features since I'm experienced with text, what these blank spaces are. And for anybody that's not looking at it, Corey provided us like these quote unquote dialogue boxes with dashes through them, indicating that there's certain part of the text missing.
I'm annoyed that I can't put it into chat. It's stupid. So what I was intending to convey with that is that sections where the text has been damaged, either the water has run across it or it's stuck to the page before it, and it's there's no actual lettering there to decipher.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
It's at this point and everything like that. It's like looking at that. It's like, then I want to look at Dawn and say, Dawn, when did you, what year did you and Unriat travel together? What was the last year do you remember?
The last year it was 300?
Oh.
301. It was just after the start of the new year.
Oh.
When he passed.
That timeline still holds.
Des, as you're flipping through, there is one more. Oh, that didn't go nicely at all. There is one more passage. Oh, come on now. There we go. One more passage as you're flipping through toward the end of the written section of this book. There are a number of blank pages at the back. It looks like the middle was relatively protected. And the last entry that you find is what I just pasted into the party loot there, if you want to read that.
The gift, this burden, this ... Oh, 3F, rainfall, 18 AS, so 18 years into Age Storms. This gift, this burden, this joke is more than anyone should have to bear. I pity the elves. I pity the gods. Such lonely lives they led. Sleep well, my dearest, in the comfort of the empty. If I can find my way to you, we shall draw up the cool blanket of eternity and rest in each other's arms. Des, there's a tear falling down Des's eyes.
It's so beautiful.
That tear is quickly supplanted by a blurring of your vision, where you see a speech being given from a balcony to a cheering crowd. There, you see closed door meetings by firelight with lavishly adorned figures. This beautifully sharp-featured elven woman, seeming to be at the middle of everything with a keen smirk. You see that same figure standing at the center of two angry crowds in a field, arms outstretched, keeping each of them at bay. You see this person standing upon the crenellated walls of Thrum, staring down as a similarly magnificently dressed figure is escorted out of the city by armed guard, and watch as he walks down the road into the distance. And between that and your training, you also somehow call to mind the name Felicity Harupiet.
And as the tears rolls down his cheek, I'd imagine like he'd wake up by feeling the drop hit his collarbone. And he just jolts with excitement. Guys, I had a vision. I had a vision like you and you and you. But what name did you guys get? I got a name. Felicity Harupiet. Yes, I feel like that's what the name was.
So we got into a lot of checks and stuff. The names that I posted into chat faded into the ether at this point. But yeah, during your training, as you guys are focusing in on this sphere and kind of trying to understand what is going on, you are each also presented with this name conjured from somewhere. Calder Ayaz the Frost Raven. Orson Jazz Basu. Theo Roderick Forrest. And since I presume everyone will be sharing this, the name that Maxwell calls up is Unriat, the Grim Bastion.
Unriat. Oh, shoot. That's sick. That is so cool.
Unriat was...
Orson, what year did you say that you remembered last again?
593.
590. And Maxwell?
It was 601.
There's almost a pattern.
Oh,
Well, just out of character, real quick. Had had you guys not had those numbers or whatever, it would have been sequential going up and then sequential with our visions going back for years.
oh, you're writing down the names of the years with our vision.
Yeah,
Nice.
just try to keep track. And there's a
Stefan-
lot of years and everything.
Stefan's played with me before. I do fun little shit like that sometimes.
Sorry, it's. I'm not trying to. I promise, I'm not trying to meta. It just
No,
would have
not
been
at
like,
all. Not at all.
No, I mean, I will say again, out of character, it was forward and backwards that our visions came, wasn't it? The first was the last. Des was the first one to. Des was the first one to die, but anyway, it's not important.
Nope, Morrison died first.
I thought I died for. Oh no,
Dad's-
not like year wise. I think.
Oh,
No. I wasn't saying year wise. I was saying when we started and when the game
gotcha.
for characters and stuff like that. Yeah.
I gotcha.
It was
Yeah,
forward
they-
and backwards.
It was
Wasn't it?
close.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Because it was Des. It was.
Right.
It was. Oh yeah. Orson and yeah, you and Eric, you and Dan, I think got flipped.
Yeah, so vision order, the way this played out was
Yeah.
Maxwell, Theo, Orson, Calder, Des.
Sweet. Well, is this by the end of the week?
Yeah, the week wraps up. How are you guys feeding yourselves? Are you eating berries?
I'm eating my own dead corpse. No, I'm kidding.
That's not funny. I struggle with that.
Attempt
sorry.
to cook
I'm sorry.
on this
It's all right.
thing for everybody, I guess.
What are you cooking?
We have like flour and water, right? Just
Yeah.
make some like.
Is the bear edible?
Just make some like.
It's
Oh, I thought you were talking about the baby bear.
you're more of a woodsman than me. Would a 1-month-old carcass in cold temperatures like this be preserved enough to be edible?
How cold is it?
Yeah, how cold?
Late winter, early spring in the mountains.
But we're inside. right? It's not cold up
Possibly.
here, right?
I mean, preferably it should have been gutted.
No way. No way. You didn't gut it. You didn't clean it. You didn't put it outside. No way.
yeah, probably not.
All right.
Was it trichinosis or whatever it's called or whatever for
No,
for
Right. That's
You just
right.
have been cooking
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
No, the
You're just
bear
eating pancakes.
outside, you threw into the. Yeah, I was thinking like tortillas, but yeah.
I
Can
could
I
survive
also,
on
during
tortillas.
the week
Don't worry.
that we're in here, can we drag this bear carcass outside?
No,
Yeah,
gotta leave it
you can drag
inside.
the bear outside. Yeah, no problem.
We do have all of our own bodies as well
You know, we probably want to drag
that we
those
should drag outside, not eat.
No, we should put all of our own bodies in this room by this door back here.
Why would we do
Which
that?
one?
I think we should get him outside and give him a proper burial.
Let's get
Oh,
them
that's
outside.
good too. That's
more just burying ourselves? Are you kidding me?
I guess we should hold a funeral procession for ourselves.
I mean, I don't want to sit there and stare at my dead corpse, and it's also going to start smelling bad if it hasn't already started to smell bad, and so it should
Yeah.
be. And if we're going to spend a week in here, it's like, well, no, it'll just be a chore and everything. And
As
Theo would disconnect himself as much as possible and just be like, okay, put a little rag over the face and everything, and let's get
as
to
we
work.
do it, as we go to do that, Theo, Calder is gonna approach you, and I've seen many battles and many corpses. Never my own. If you would be so kind as to bury me, I will bury you. The thought of putting my own body into the ground has me more shaken than I'd like to admit.
DC Calder, I'll take care of both of us. I've seen plenty of death and had to take care of that as well after Thrum was attacked. I've had to do final rites plenty of times. It doesn't bother me.
Just the idea of my own corpse. Something sick about all this. I'll help you dig the graves, of course. I just... placing the corpses into the hole, I'd prefer not to handle myself.
I will take care of it. It's no problem, Calder.
Des is desperately trying to drag his body, getting an inch every hour.
The image of that.
Theo basically lets Des go as long as he wants to until he finally comes over, just picks it up.
Well, you could have done that sooner. Jesus, Theo.
I wanted you to feel like you were helping.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Horse
That's
is gonna
actually kind
spin-
of a nest.
Funny. Horse is going to spend a bunch of time looking at the different paintings around this place. Just spending a lot. I know he already looked at them, but just spending a lot of time.
Sure. Are you doing it? Are you like trying to find secrets, or just like observing the art and like appreciating the?
Appreciating the art.
Okay. Yeah, somebody here had taste at least. It's not all just stone and metal.
I think I will, at some point on my downtime, also appreciate the art.
Wow, that's sure beautiful. Brings tear right to my eye.
Bear out of here.
Can I
Can't
take
move
some
there.
time? Yeah, I definitely took the bear outside. If you could remove the token.
Sure.
Can I take some time to depreciate the art? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That doesn't
We're gonna
take much
throw
time at all.
knuckles.
Yeah.
Okay, I added the couple final little things as you guys continue poking around here. You find some really, really old wine and whiskey on the shelves that still seem like they're good or in good shape. There were a couple additional wands in the study in the bookshelves. We'll say you probably dug those up as well.
Alright.
And
So-
yeah,
One thing of note that you guys noticed throughout the week is that Calder does not indulge in the wine or whiskey, even when offered refrains.
Des, on the other hand, is like,
I've never had wine or whiskey before. I wasn't above legal age. It's so much fun.
and then he gets plastered.
it doesn't take much. This whiskey is strong. If it could go above 200 proof, this probably would.
Gets plastered.
Yeah.
He drinks a bit too much than
Yeah.
he should.
Okay.
We'll keep him out of the room with the poison thing.
That's probably smart.
What is this thing? Let's play with it.
I can drink this too.
I'll actually close this door and make sure that it stays closed.
Des wakes
Oh,
up
barricaded. Yes, barricaded, definitely.
Barricade it with the bear.
Barricaded.
No, with the bear.
Barricaded. That's so bad.
Dad jokes.
Is it,
Terrible fun.
the weather outside, you said it was
Frightful.
Yeah.
Frightful.
frightful.
Damn.
It was pretty
the
clear.
wine.
It was pretty clear when you guys poked out previously. Looks about the same now as you look out, just kind of overcast. But yeah, you can see things are starting to melt off just the tiniest little bit. But up this high, it's still pretty cold.
Because one of the things that I wanted to try to do was figure out a way to mark the passage of time. In the sense of like, I can't imagine that astrology was something that Theo spent a lot of time studying. I mean, maybe the cosmos itself and everything when it comes to religion. I mean, he spends more time during the day doing things because he worships the sun. But that's kind of one of the things that I want to try to figure out is like, well, I guess first and foremost is the sky. How similar is the sky to what Theo is used to, first off, and then second off, if it's like, uh, mm, again, trying to mark the passage of time to be like, okay, it looks like it, okay, metagame. Essentially, it's one of those things like, if we were to die again and everything like that, just trying to make mental markers of like, where are we at, approximately how much time is passing and everything like that while we're here.
Yeah, this
And it's just-
constellation was right here last time I saw it. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a. I'm gonna call that a religion check, I think.
21.
All right.
Hey.
It's pretty overcast outside. It's hard to get a good glimpse at the sky, but you are able to, in between cloud breaks here and there over the course of this week, get a reasonably good feeling that it is early spring wherever you are. You do see some constellations that you're familiar with, though this tends to fall more in the realm of Edra, who is worshipped as the stars, and kind of is the guiding light, the soul farrier, if you will. Yeah, it feels like, it looks like spring from your home ish.
And basically, it's kind of one of those things that he, when he's doing this, if anybody's listening and everything like that, he's passing all that information, even also for like Des to be like, like for his journaling and stuff like that, to be
Sure.
like, hey, look, this is what this means, and this is what this is what I see and everything like that, to try to keep some kind of record.
All right, yeah, that's pretty smart.
I figure we won't normally do this for immersion reasons, but this is too funny not to. Chat says Theo picks up journaling. Dear diary, today I buried mine in Calder's body.
Oh my god,
That one got me.
that's funny. Is it pretty? I mean, you said it's pretty cold winter. Is it just appear to be winter in the mountains, or do we need to check our nice holding for like winter clothing?
I did add some cold weather gear into the party sheet along with the other quantum stuff.
Yep.
Dan, I think you stepped away for that. Did you hear the quantum gear thing?
I did not.
Okay, so basically I dropped some mundane armor and weapons and things into the party loot that I'm calling just quantum gear. So if you take a martial weapon off or out of that line and reduce it by 1, that can have been a greatsword or a longbow or a warhammer. It's just whatever you need for mundane weaponry. If you run out of the cool toys, or don't want to bring the cool
run
toys.
out of the cool toys. This really makes me feel like we're gonna lose the stuff we've taken and end up back here.
Only time will tell.
Maybe.
We shouldn't have taken all the cool stuff right off the bat.
I was just wondering if it would make sense to put on cold weather clothing or not.
It is still pretty cold.
How far of a journey does it seem like from where we're at to the valley?
That's what I was just going to say. It looks like it's probably not terribly far. You can probably get to the edge of the mountains in a day. So it might be a very unpleasant night if you don't quite make it. But you're not going to like die of hypothermia clothed as you are now.
There's a reason that he choked up on the word die, fellas.
It's not too far of a walk if we have to come back. Maybe.
Well, let's wait
Oh,
for a
God.
morning. Let's wait for a morning and then head down to the clearing.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a plan. So you guys bunker in for the night. Share the beds, sleep on the rugs, whatever you guys do to get comfy in here. There are far more of you than there are comfortable sleeping spots, although Des is pretty small. You can probably wedge in between some knees or something.
You can lay at the foot.
Yeah.
I've had to sleep down here for 4 nights straight. Why can't I get a regular spot? This is unfair.
We grab one of the treasure chests or whatever and put some like pillows and like blankets in it.
That's funny.
Okay,
At the
yeah.
foot of the bed.
And you head outside and at first light start making your way down the hill. So as you are traveling here, I'm going to ask for two things. First off, is a formation. Who is traveling in front, middle, back ranks? Where are each of you?
I think Calder, front row and center. He wants to be first line of defense if anything happens. Always, front. I think front. Even though he's slightly offended by Theo's newfound allegiance to metal over flesh, front line and center.
Okay.
I think Maxwell would be all the way in the back, and Des would be in front of him.
Okay, so Des will be in the mid.
Yeah,
Okay.
towards the middle.
Orson, Theo?
Go ahead, Orson.
Orson be running all over.
I'll take the middle. I was gonna say I want to take a more central point and everything like that, because that was one of the things that I did for my level up was I picked my just to let you guys know, picked my fighting style as interception.
Okay.
Nice.
That's the one where you
Which
can
means
use a
that-
reaction, right?
Within 5 feet, I can use a reaction to reduce the damage from by 1d10 plus 2.
Hey, that's
Orson's
pretty damn good.
really fast, so he's just
I know.
He's zipping all over, jumping into snow drifts, and just going ape shit.
going ham.
Scrooge McDucking through the snow. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Next question I have for you is how quickly are you moving here? 5e's got 4 travel speeds. Fast, normal, slow, crawl. Basically, the faster you're going, the less stealthy you'll be. The slower you're going, the better you'll be able to both stealth and see danger.
I think we're trudging through the snow. I'm going with fast. If everybody else
How
is up for
high is the
fast.
snow, by the way? Interesting question.
That is an interesting question. It's tough for you, in particular, to be moving about like this.
Yeah.
Cold will be the death of the little ones.
I guess if it's okay, I'll be on Theo's shoulders.
Okay, sure. If he's willing to
Yeah.
carry you.
Of
Now,
course.
if you were wearing that ring of free action,
I'm wearing that.
Which is also why you're walking on top of the snow.
Absolutely.
Walking on
I'm
water.
just zipping all around. You guys are all like slow and
No, we need that mobility. I
think we
am
move
not
fast.
offended by it.
Yeah, let's not get to where we have to sleep in the snow without any gear. I say we move fast and we head straight for the clearing where it's a little warmer.
Say before we leave too, like we make a whole like bunch of like tortillas and stuff like that, and
I'll
just
say
kind of stash up.
Can we say we made rations?
sure. I'll say you can prep. Let's call it 2 days worth of rations to bring with you for the trip. 2 days for
Theo.
each of you.
Theo, little trick I learned when I was running with a mercenary band. If you keep these tortillas inside your armor when you hike, they're warm when you
Gross.
eat them.
Enough of that. I don't know about you guys, but I totally stole blankets.
Yeasty.
Like, I took a backpack. I'm assuming there was a backpack.
There are
right? I know it
there are
wasn't the
bags
list,
and
but
backpacks and stuff.
I figured there was something in there.
Yeah.
There's an entire like kitchen, so I figured there's a backpack.
Yeah, that's fine.
Knapsack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next traveling question: what is everybody doing on the hike? Are you guys
Well-
like navigating? Are you trying to keep watch? Are you just are you
Before we
foraging?
Before we get there, one other thing I would like to address: the ring of spell storing can store up to 5 levels of spells. Vitriolic Sphere is a what level spell?
That is a good question. I believe it's 4. Let me double check that.
So I have room for one first level spell inside of this ring.
Vitriolic Sphere is a 4th level spell.
So, what spells through conversation, like what kind of, I would know that this stores magic. What spells do you guys have? Because I would like to put another spell in this.
I have Command, Healing Word, Silvery Barbs, Thunderwave, Bane.
I'm gonna take a healing word.
Okay. I will use a healing word.
What is that? Is that how that works? He just uses it on the ring?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
stores it in there.
Yeah, he casts it
Oh,
into
cool.
the ring, and
Sick.
then Dan will be able to cast it as though he had it prepared.
Oh, sick.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll pump in a healing word, but I assume. Wait. Oh shoot! Because it takes me a week, right? A long rest is a week, so it'd take me a week to get a spell slot back.
Long rest is a day. You can have done this during your training periods, so you're fresh for the
Gotcha.
journey.
Sweet.
Thanks.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
figure
right.
out.
I haven't prepared any spells. I should probably do that real fast. I forgot that I have spells at level 2.
All right, I am also gonna loot out my backpack here.
I put some clothes on and
Oh, okay.
blankets.
I do have these, but they're not. Or a
Stole a dagger. Steel I took. Whatever.
Oh, backpack is an actual thing I could add.
Rope. Yes, sir.
and then you
I
can put stuff in
suppose-
it.
For the sake of this, I'm gonna have left the plate armor
Do that
that I'm
after
not
the session.
using.
Oh, is that how you do that? I didn't do it like that. Interesting. Okay.
But I am going to.
It's kind of nice because then you can like uncheck the backpack item, and it will deduct that weight from your carried total. So if you like lose your
I'll do it like
backpack in a
that.
river, it's easy to track stuff or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not that
There
any
you
of you
go.
would ever lose a backpack in a river.
No, of course not. Oh wow, what is this river?
You come to a
It's a
river.
river, it's a stream. A creek, if you will.
I guess to answer your question, Corey, Des will probably, since he's not very too in tune with nature, he'll just be observing for any movement. Just keeping an eye out from his like. How tall are you, Theo?
Oh, he's probably like 5'6", 5'8".
So I'm like 7, 8 feet up.
All right, so you're just you're keeping watch.
Did anybody take this knife?
The one that
The
you have to
legendary
attune to?
one?
No,
Okay.
you have to attune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about all
that's
the
being
other
left.
robes and stuff. We're leaving all that as well.
I mean, I haven't had a
yes.
chance to look at it, but Corey, can I
We can retcon that,
retroactively-
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah,
If you
we can
wanna
take a
switch
look at
it
that
up.
after the session's over here.
Yeah, because
that-
Richard or Robert might want to look too. So
True.
I was going to say that knife of soul stealing. That's staying in a box somewhere back at the end.
oh, I
Says
think it'll
you-
come into play at some point.
As far as I can tell, you're the only one with a possessed weapon.
Like, if you were to have a conversation with it, you would know. It's a lot smarter than most of us.
That's saying a lot, Calder. That's saying a lot.
Scrap metal, a hunk of steel.
I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
she says that just to Theo.
I still say that.
Okay, so
Orsa's probably somewhat paying attention, but quite enthralled with the snow. I don't know if he would have ever seen. Well, I don't know. Is it snow everywhere?
it definitely snows where you live. Yeah, you have
Okay,
seen snow.
All right. Thanks. Not enthralled with it then. Just excited to not be in that cave anymore.
Sure. So you're kind of bouncing all around, looking at everything. Okay.
Somewhat paying attention.
Sure. Theo, how about you?
Well, basically, Theo, the majority of what he's doing is, again, just trying to keep track of where we've been and where we're headed. So he's
Sure.
just, again, trying to keep track of like, okay, but landmarks and things like that. Just trying to make sure that we're not going in circles.
Sure,
But then also, again, always trying to remember where did we come from. Most
Okay.
importantly, because it's like, if we are at a potential loop or something like that or whatever, it's like, well, this is where we headed the last time. But at the same point, it's like, if we have to double back for whatever reason, it's like, that's the way we went. It wasn't, in case a blizzard happens and covers up all of our tracks and things like that too.
Okay.
But that's what he's kind of on the lookout for.
All right, Calder, how about you?
I guess my eyes are on, I mean, as I do, surveying this entire trip as a potential battlefield, keeping eyes up for any threats, close range, long range, potential danger in our walking, like which direction we're heading, just surveying for threats constantly, and also surveying, like, if we were to be attacked right now, how would we fight?
Okay, and y'all are just kind of generally making your way downhill out of the mountains is the goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get perception checks from Orson, Des, Calder, and Theo? Will you give me a history check? I'm going to call that history for like chronicling your journey and marking landmarks and things like that.
Oos.
Dang. Going well on your
Nice.
history.
All right, we got 13, 13, 11, 17. Okay. Um, Okay, so yeah, you guys make your way out of the mountains and start just hiking through the snow. Eventually, you come to the timberline and start walking through some trees, all that are making their way up the mountain, also covered in the white powder. It really is a beautiful scene and pleasantly peaceful. Like you're fortunate that there wasn't a blizzard or something. Would have made this journey pretty hellish overall. As you're walking about, you do see that the land is opening up into some sort of kind of valley down below. Like the mountains sort of curl around this little basin that you are approaching. There are some hills off to the side. Still a little hard to tell exactly where you are right this moment. Theo, with the success on your mapping check, I'm going to give you, or I guess anyone in the party that wants to use it, advantage on the next history or survival check that you guys need during this little travel period for whatever other activity you guys are working on. Okay, you hike about, and I need just one quick moment.
He's searching up a Tarask. He's gonna.
Well, it's that
Well,
dragon we talked about last time.
So you guys come up to a river with a Tarask dragon in it.
Of course.
Okay, as you guys are moving about, you get about, I don't know, late morning maybe of hiking and are about to take a break when what's your faces, Orson and Des, as you guys are goofing around and running through the snow and just enjoying all of the light. And Theo, Dawn has been like sighing and almost seeming like taking breaths through this whole journey and just saying like, you've no idea how good it is to be outside. You guys notice.
Sorry, can you please specify when she's speaking directly to him or out loud?
I will, yes. That one was out loud.
Okay.
Orson and Des, as you guys are messing around, say, Orson, you throw a snowball at Des, and as it goes over his head a little bit, you look beyond him and see the faintest little shake of movement in the snow about, I don't know, 40, 50 feet off behind him.
Hey, Orson, that really hurt. That's not cool.
Orson?
Saw something.
It pauses as you stare further in that direction.
Yeah. Something over there.
Theo starts to make his way over. He kind of glances over at Calder and just
I'll
You
step
know.
down from Theo's shoulders.
I am immediately going to draw my newfound longsword just to be ready, and I'm going to look in the direction that Theo is pointing.
Okay.
Quickly, Des says to Theo, "Good luck, Theo." And you get 1 bardic inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Theo just kind of pats his shoulder. Theo just kind of pats his shoulder and looks back at us like, if it comes to combat, don't get involved, or keep your distance. Keep your distance.
Sounds good.
He just kind of grips his shoulder. He grips his shoulder just like for an extra second, and then just starts slowly making his way over. Just yeah.
Okay, you see this fairly large snowbank ahead, and as you get just a little bit closer, it looks like it's almost made of like little, like almost a bunch of icicles. And as you get just a little bit closer, you note that the icicles look a little bit more like fur as a big blast of wind rustles by. And as you pretty clearly have spotted this thing, it rises up and the snow falls off of its back, and this towering, enormous white wolf stares back at you, like looking like it's still kind of gauging whether or not you are lunch.
He pushes himself up and everything, and just basically says to Dawn, "It's like, are you ready to defend?"
I'm always ready to defend a servant of the light.
So he has his shield up and everything, sword like ready to, basically he's trying to also kind of intimidate,
Okay.
like making himself as large as possible for his only being like 5'7", 5'8". But still he's got his armor on and everything like that. It just yeah.
Yeah, as big as you are, this thing is bigger. At its shoulder, it's probably sitting at about 6-7 feet or so. This is a massive wolf.
Whoa.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
That's huge. Oh no.
14.
Jeez, intimidation. Wow.
Where did it go?
I did take intimidation as proficiency.
You did.
Good thing.
It's kind of looking at you, posturing, and snorts this like icy breath out of its nose, and turns and starts walking off into the hills. A few dozen feet out, you can't even see it anymore. It just vanishes into the snow.
I'm gonna bump Theo on the shoulder and just,
Why'd you hesitate? Would have made it pretty rough.
And just kind of looks, just holds it. He's holding the stance and everything like that, just making sure that the wolf gets out of sight, and looks over at Calder and he says, "I won the fight without even throwing a blow." And then he continues walking ahead. He walks back to Dez and picks him back up and everything, and
Nice.
continues walking.
Sure.
Wow,
yeah.
that was quick, Theo. Dang. Didn't know you were that strong. Jesus.
Just a reminder, maybe, that the hills are not as safe and serene as they appear here. You guys finish up your lunch break and continue on your journey toward whatever this clearing is down below. As you get a bit closer, the ground dips below this rock face that is kind of jutting up above. Something you'll have to either go around or over. And as you get a little closer, you note that the snow is hanging quite beautifully along dozens and dozens of vines that are covering the side of this rock face. The water has started to collect in little rivulets coming off of the mountain peaks and merge together into this tiny little trickle of a stream at this early spring date that is running down toward this rock face and kind of right into it, right into the vines where it vanishes from sight. Do you guys want to try and climb over this, go around this? How are you approaching this little obstacle here?
I have an idea. Orson, you pack some rope, right?
Yeah.
How about, I don't know who wants to, but I'm perfectly. How tall is the ledge?
It goes up probably about I don't know 40 or 50 feet or so if you're
my
going
God.
if you're going up over it.
That is not what I thought it was. I thought it was 10 feet.
Well, never mind. That idea is not viable. Um, so what is it? Do you guys want to climb here? I mean, I don't think Maxwell and I can really make it up that far, but we could surely try.
With a rope? Are you sure?
With a rope, maybe, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you unless we.
Orson, could you scale that?
Yeah.
If you were to get up and drop a rope down, I think we can manage from there.
Yeah, I
It's like, oh, I guess that's
pull you up, but I can climb.
didn't ask you to. But going around it and everything, like, how much time would that, like, could we gauge about approximately how much time it would take to go around
This
rather than
ridge
go
kind of
over?
it continues for a bit. You're about at I don't know, like 1, 2 in the afternoon or so. It looks like you could probably get to an edge before the end of the day. Maybe within a couple hours. Hard to say. This whole terrain is kind of hard to gauge from where you're at.
Does it look climbable?
With the vines and everything loaded upon it, it does look climbable. Go ahead and give me a round of perception checks.
Ooh. Ooh.
Nice. Theo, Des, you guys notice there is no water pooling at the base of this little structure here. The vines are growing up over the rocks, though. Those could provide a good climbing surface if you choose to go up and over it.
There's no water pooling at the base of the structure. Does that imply there's more underneath it?
I have no clue. My 15 intelligence doesn't help me now.
My 16. Is there like a rock nearby that I can just throw?
Yeah, you can easily find rubble.
I throw a rock to the base of the vines.
Give me a dexterity check, we'll call it.
Okay. Ah, come on.
All that good luck running out.
It gets to the vines, no problem. Kind of bounces off. You see the dust of the snow settle a little bit. And it clinks to the ground right where you tossed it.
Well, seems perfectly safe to me. I start to walk towards it, but since I don't think I can really climb it, I want to see other people climb it first, so then I could follow them.
Sure.
Their lead.
We're climbing.
I'll
Not yet.
We're hesitant.
I'll approach the wall, put a hand on one of the vines, and kind of give it a
give it a tug.
check.
It feels reasonably anchored. Like it has sent its little tendrils into the stone. It feels like you could use this as a rope if you wanted to go up and over.
Well, what does everyone think? I can climb.
I think if you can climb up and drop a rope down, that might give us a little bit better view, and it might save us a bit of time from having to go around.
All right.
With not to repeat anything that anyone's done, but with my strength, can I give a good grab and like really pull down on it to see if it goes loose?
Like trying to dislodge it?
Yes.
Sure. Give me a strength check.
Acrobatics or athletics, I mean. Or straight
I
strength.
would call this just straight strength.
+6.
Holy, oh, that's right. You've got the belt on. I'm like,
Sick.
that's not
Yeah.
just strength.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you have that.
Yeah, you walk up to a section. So
This is
this
superhuman.
rock wall is like a good couple dozen feet wide. You walk up to one section of it and just kind of grab a couple of the vines and just yank out, and you see this little like this ripple wave, like when you're throwing ropes or whatever. This kind of ripple wave of vines rolls up the hill and pulls it all away, and it kind of falls down all around you. But that took some real doing. These should support weight.
I'm gonna look over at Orson's skinny little body, and I'm just gonna go, "You should be fine."
He's like a mule.
All right, up and over, or
Yep.
Okay.
I prefer to think of myself as a Clydesdale, but thank you.
With the vines, I'm not going to even call for athletics checks here. It's easy enough, however much time it takes you to brace your way and get up to the top of this little craggy outcropping. You make your way up to the top of it, and as you get up there, and
Okay.
you get a clear view
Okay.
of this valley below.
Uh-huh.
It would probably be pretty beautiful were it not mostly ruins. You're looking down at this kind of, like I said, this mountainous bowl, kind of a circular ring around it. You're sort of like right back at the central edge of it, looking down on what appears to be kind of a swampy ruin, several miles across, maybe 2 or 3 days hike from side to side. There in the center of it stands the ruins of some sort of town. And above it on the left side from where you're looking, which would be toward the north, so you're facing east, you see the remnants of a large stone aqueduct running out of the mountainside from a ways away and coming in a pretty crumbly, broken fashion right toward this town that's in the base of this little basin here. Off to the right, past this whole little area, are some hills poking out from the edge of the mountains. And way, way in the distance, you can see the sea. From this information, I would like history checks from everybody.
Oh, when you said we get somebody gets an advantage.
Yes, one. You know what? We'll call it everybody. Everybody can roll this history check with advantage. So Des and Orson, go ahead and roll again.
Better.
How do I set to advantage again? I right click it, right?
Right click it. Yeah.
Oh shoot, gotcha.
Corey, can you please check your Discord?
I can.
Oh, I did not mean to roll that again. I'm so sorry.
I can't make this stupid box go away.
Yeah, same. I have to roll it. I'm so sorry.
I clicked on another one. It made another box. Oh no!
In the box. Oh no! Oh no!
I'll just roll to myself. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, Calder and Orson, looking down at this, you kind of tap into some local legend from around it. Calder, you're not really from around this place, but you've heard stories about Feudgard, this ruin of a city that sits several days south of Thrum, where kind of the heart of the resistance against an ancient monarchy was born. The aqueduct is really the telltale structure here that gives away exactly what this place is. So from here, you know that it's kind of equidistant between Thrum to the north and Belvance to the south. Calder, your home is quite a ways farther south than that in Cardok, but Trestle is on the way to Belvance. Now,
Belvance is to the south, you said?
Belvance is to the south,
North.
yeah. Southeast, really. Throom is north, Trestle and Belvance are south. And while all of this is great news, you know where you are, you also can see that there is a cliff probably about, a couple 100 feet tall before you to get down to the bottom of this valley. Now, these same vines do look like they cover a bulk of this wall, but getting down there is going to be a matter all its own.
Did anyone else have the thought, I can't die, and I'm free? Free fall? Never mind.
Nope, that was just you.
Okay.
I wish it took Featherfall. Oh well.
So does everyone in this situation.
Next level.
So, are there any other paths besides taking the vines down that we can see from?
So options would be take the vines straight down the cliff face. You could possibly hike around the mountain ridge to that aqueduct and see if there is an easier way down over there. And the other curious thing here, though not a way down, you do see a little pillar of smoke rising up out above the cliff edge, as though it's coming from like inside the cliff below you somewhere. Not from that far away, like maybe 50, 60 feet below you, and off to the side just a little bit.
I'm not so confident in climbing down this one. I think we should go around.
I agree with that. Yeah, that seems like the smarter option, even though it might shave off some time.
If we go around, will wherever that smoke is coming from, will whatever's down there have clear sight of us?
If you go, I think it's like could they shoot you with a bow kind of thing?
Yeah, if we go to the aqueduct, can they see us?
It's the aqueduct is far enough away. They might be able to see you, but there's no way they could attack you. It's a large circle.
I'm going to say, if we go around to the aqueduct, are we now running into we're going to have to stay the night out in the snow?
Yes, definitely.
Which we don't have a tent. We barely have camping gear.
We take the vines.
The vines? Really?
I'm not
Very
sleeping in the snow.
afraid of climbing down.
Yeah,
Because it goes down like 200 feet.
The only other time I've
Yeah.
ever snuggled another soldier was in a situation like this, and
I'm going to look around at everybody and be like, I'm not too keen on holding any of you tonight.
Okay, well, if we're gonna be heading down this cliff face, I'll save these words till right before we leave. But I'll say a couple words to me. I know I can't give myself bardic inspiration, but I'll say a couple words to console myself, and then I'll say a couple words to Maxwell. Maxwell, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to climb that down like it's a fireman's pole. It's that easy. And I'll give him bardic inspiration for the climb down.
We had a pole at the lighthouse. It was it should be easy.
Second nature at that point, right?
He's still kind of lost in thought, and has been like walking, like holding his arms this entire trip.
Well, you can hold on to the vines.
And then, yeah, I guess so. Climb down.
Are you okay? In relation to this little smoke bit that's coming up from the side of the cliff, are you trying to approach that, avoid that? What's the game plan there?
I personally would like to drop down right on top of it.
Same.
Does Dan want to do that, or does Calder want to do
Calder,
that?
I don't like getting backdoored. I don't want to have somebody sneak up on us, or if we climb past them, they see us and cut the vines from above us. We gotta figure out what the fire is.
We need to figure out.
I'd like to tie myself to Calder before we climb down. With rope.
Okay.
So
That's,
if I
we should
slip-
all just tie
so if I
ourselves to Calder.
So if I slip, he can hold me.
All right.
That's funny.
I'm gonna take out
funny.
my 50 foot of hempen
crazy.
rope. Everybody tie this to your waist. I'll climb down last
great
and keep
idea.
a strong grasp on the vines. Theo, you should go first. In case there's a fight down there, you can get the shield up. We'll put Orson, Dez, and Maxwell between you and I. I'll go down last and be the foothold.
Wow, so brave.
Good idea.
What
Okay.
will we do without you, Calder?
All right, going
Anyway.
down. Going down, a little different story than going up. I would like a round of athletics checks from people for this one.
But I'm so
As
afraid.
Dez goes over the ledge, I'm just gonna say,
Well, you may not know what you'd do without me, but I know I wouldn't be fighting acid without you.
You're welcome for that life-changing experience.
Refresh my memory.
25.
Bardic Inspiration, you only can only hand out one per day, right? Like only one person can hold your Bardic Inspiration.
No, as many people
No.
as you want.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
For
Just making
10
sure.
minutes.
Oh,
It lasts
okay.
10 minutes. So, not sure that
Oh
works.
yeah,
You
that'd probably be
can
gone.
use it for this check, especially if you guys are trying to get into whatever this little nook or cranny is. Yeah, you'll be able to use it in that time.
Orson's really good at athletics, guys.
No, I know. That's the reason why I had you climb up first.
Hey, Maxwell
Mine
didn't
is
do
two,
too shabby
by the
either.
way.
Yeah,
Mine
wow.
is 2 for athletics for me. It
Um,
is a strength check.
Yeah, Orson is definitely the weak link in this little climbing chain. He grabs a little bit of dead vine that rips off the wall, and he sags and hangs back for a minute. Calder, you're pretty easily able to like you grab him and like throw him back into the wall until he latches on again. Not the quietest affair.
Easy, old man. You've got it.
Athletic
One of the
versus
safety-
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, I'd be. Hey,
I know.
flip off.
That's what I said.
You could flip off this.
he
mountain?
probably could have ran down the face of it with no issue, but he can't climb down.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe at level 9.
Slow fall.
All right, you guys get down to this little opening where the smoke is pouring up from, and as you brace yourself for the swift maneuver of getting in there, Theo, you quickly scramble down and launch yourself into whatever this little opening is. It's not terribly large. It's only maybe 7 feet tall at this little opening, and maybe 8 or 10 feet wide. Just kind of this little natural gap in the cliff face. It opens up into this this room that is mostly appointed with like woven furniture. There's like reed furniture, and everything is covered in vines as ropes and like binding sticks together and stuff. It expands a little bit from where you're coming in. A little that little stream of water is coming to the edge and dropping off into the depths below, off the edge of the cliff. There is a little fire pit on one side with a few logs burning in it, a pot hanging over it that actually smells decently good in here. This is clearly a lived-in home of some sort. You don't see any living creatures or movement or anything in here, though.
I will immediately check for footprints.
There is snow drift in here. You can see footprints coming and going. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
I just want to know, human,
Dang.
17. All right. They're slender. You would guess that these are a little more fey-blooded, half-elven or elven feet as opposed to human. As far as quantity and direction, they seem to be kind of all over the place. This is stone floor, so they aren't leaving too many footprints. And Theo has already muddied the edge here with his own entrance, as have the rest of you as you swing in. It does look like they go in and out through the back side of this little cave. There's a tiny little tunnel that leads that direction. Yeah. That's what you are able to discern.
Theo doesn't have Dawn out. Still has his shield, still has the shield and everything, and kind of takes a few times, takes several steps in there, and just good morrow. Just hollers it down the hall.
Yeah, no response. A pretty small space. You'd wager this entire area split across this pretty much one central room is maybe like 15 by 20. So it's a decent sized cave, but it doesn't look particularly expansive. Not any major hidey holes that people could be lying in wait in.
Is 50 or 60 feet down. We're still got like 150, 140 feet to go.
A ways, yeah. Probably more than that, actually.
I was going to say...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go you.
Oh, all I was going to ask was that, like, do we have a clear idea of where the next ledge is? Like is the next ledge like within like 50 feet of like where we're at this point?
Sure, yeah. As you guys are kind of poking around about this place a little bit, you go and lean cautiously out the cliff face and look down over the edge. And as you do, a hand shoots up and places itself on the stone next to your feet, and starts. You hear the grunting and the hoisting of a body up over the edge of the cliff from below into this little cave.
I will reach out and I will grasp the hand and just say, "Let me help you with that," and give a pull upwards towards us.
They don't seem to like fight it, like maybe a little bit surprised, but don't resist it too much. And you kind of like grab this guy by the arm and just lift him up off the cliff and place him in this little hovel with you guys. Standing before you is a pretty, like, he's got furs and like cold weather gear on. Doesn't look like he's particularly armored. You can see a small knife at his side, and otherwise just a fairly uninteresting middle-aged wood elf with brownish barky skin, knotted dark brown hair and yellow eyes, looking back at you. And as he comes up over the edge, he says, "Quite a few of you."
We don't mean to intrude. We're trying to make our way down.
He just kind of walks past you, like unconcerned that there are people in his little house. Wipes a bit of sweat off his brow even amid this cold weather, and walks over to the soup. Starts pouring out a little bowl for himself. And just goes, "Hungry?"
Well, yeah, I'm sure we wouldn't refuse any provisions, but I have a question. Do you by any chance know what year it may be?
Stopped tracking years a long time ago.
Well, if there's any year you remember last being, that could help us out a lot.
Kind of shakes his arm out. It's probably, I don't know, somewhere around 600 these days. Not sure. You folks put a lot more. You folks. He nods at Orson and Maxwell. You folks put a lot more weight in the year than my kind. Where are you coming from?
I'm gonna walk over and grab one of these bowls and like not pick up a spoon or anything. I'm just gonna dip it in the actual soup to like scoop it all out. And then I'm gonna like lean back so my armor opens a little bit, and I'm gonna grab one of these ration breads out and I'm gonna stick it in my mouth. I'm gonna tear it in half, and I'm just gonna say, "You want half for dipping?"
Yeah. Bread?
I'm gonna hand him one, and I'm gonna take, and it's like warm from this climb and being inside my armor. I'm gonna take it, dip it in the soup, and start eating it.
Steamed.
And then I'm just gonna say, "That's right, that's right."
We're some unfortunate event brought us to the top of the mountain. What brings you here? How long you lived in this hovel?
Hovel's my home.
I meant no offense.
He kind of a snicker crosses his face. You by the way grabbed the only other bowl. There are exactly 2 bowls here.
Might I get your name before I indulge in this delicious smelling soup?
I've been living here since the ruins below were a city, but that was a long, long time ago. Name's Elishore. Elishore Vineweaver.
Vineweaver.
Fitting name, considering we had to climb down those vines to get here. Tell me, Vineweaver, can you guide us down the mountain safely?
I can, yeah, but I'm curious. Why are there 5 of you? Used to only be 1. Been a long time since anyone's walked out of those mountains.
What do you mean used to only be 1?
You know how to count, right?
I mean, yeah. Let me rephrase the question.
Which one of us?
Yeah, which one of us have you seen before?
I ain't seen any of you before. I just never seen 5 come to visit me like this. The folks down below, they never make the climb. Probably couldn't. So what little company I get from the one from the mountains.
The same.
How often this one from?
Sorry, Theo.
And I'm just gonna start eating my soup.
No, I apologize, caller. I was just going to ask, when was the last time you saw this one?
You in the years, 200 years, maybe. I don't know. A lifetime, many lifetimes for you. 300? Who knows?
Do you remember their name?
The sword, Theo, speaks up in your head and says, Elishore, I remember him. He was always kind.
The name Unriat?
I haven't heard that name in a long, long time. You friends of Unriat's?
We have heard of Unriat.
How's he doing? I presume not well. Been far too long since I've seen the lad.
Fairly certain he has expired.
As they do.
But has he?
Has he? Oh.
Okay, yeah, my brain's getting wrinkled. I'm sorry. The implications of this conversation are just really setting in, and yeah, you missed it. This person had said that they only know, that they've only seen one person come out of the mountains, and we just found out that it's Unriat. Because Dawn told us, like, oh yes, this Elishor has always been kind.
That is crazy.
You folks looking to get down, there's paths down the vines. I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that'd be great. Elishor, what? Oh, you said people below. Do they still live there?
I don't think so. I don't go down that far too much anymore. You can see he walks, gets up and walks over to the edge and points down to the trees around the ruins in the center of this little basin. Points down there and says, "You see, they're all dead. There's a whole circle of dead." Go ahead.
Are they?
I'm gonna walk
moving?
up behind him, and I'm gonna look back at Dez, and I'm gonna do like fake do a Sparta kick, and then I'm gonna get a big old smile and just wink at Dez, and then I'm gonna step forward and look over the ledge and see what he's looking at.
He's pointing at the ruins of whatever this town was below, and it looks like it's pretty swampy down there, and it's still a little snowy, so it's kind of hard to pick out. But now that he's said something, you can see that, yeah, the center of this basin, it looks like most of the trees and greenery are lifeless, leafless. And the farther out it gets, it starts to have a little bit more color to it. Yeah. You're a couple hundred feet in the air, so it's a good big picture vantage point, but the details are kind of elusive.
Does it look like there's any like specks moving around or anything though?
Give me a perception check.
Sure.
Elishor, when's the last time you were down there?
Nat 20.
Nice. You do, with a roll like that, you do see that there is some movement down in this valley below. A few figures here and there, nothing like huge or significant. The town, it looks like most of the movement is within the ruins of this town, though. People milling back and forth between buildings. It looks like one building in particular seems to have a bit of a gathering around a building.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't. I try not to go down below. The people of the valley never interested me much. I'm here for my art. And the occasional company.
You're an artist. You're an artist.
Aye.
What kind of art?
He kind of nods to the chair, all the woven furniture and stuff around here.
Presumably made from the vines that grow on the side of this cliff.
Presumably, yeah.
Elishor Vine Weaver. That makes sense. I was just heavy. I'm a bit of a artist myself. My medium is clay, though.
Ooh, ain't gonna find much of that around here. Maybe in the hills down south, but that's too far for me. I like the peace and the quiet of the mountains.
Yeah, it's too bad. It looks like you could use some more bowls.
You can use. He takes the hint and finishes slurping down his soup and offers you his bowl.
I'm gonna take.
Mind he takes it.
I'm gonna chug down my bowl, and then I'm gonna lift my splint mail up again, pull another piece of bread out. I'm gonna rip it in half, slap half in my bowl, hand it to Dez, and I'm gonna hand the other half out to Orson.
Nope.
Take a bite, shove it back in my splint mail.
I'm good with the soup.
That's been, like I said, it's been a few hundred years since I've had much company here. So forgive the any lack of hospitality on my part, but your kind don't typically linger long. It's a hello and a goodbye and off to doing whatever you're doing.
When you say our kind,
You
like
mountain
mountain
people.
folk, mountain people. So you said there was one. Was there ever any more?
No, always just one. Always one at a time.
Always the same one.
He kind of
Always
thinks.
Unriat.
He thinks really hard, and he goes, there was another one before him. What was his name? Old feller. He was real peaceful. Had a way with fire. Nice old man. I can't remember his name.
Well, this is new news to us. But I was wondering, and then he switches from common to Elvish and says, "So what's your game plan here? Like, do you just want to spend the rest of your life here? I know you guys live a long time, but
And he replies in Elvish, a little surprised. Goes, I'll stay here until my work's finished, and then perhaps when the mural's done, when my work's done, I don't know, return home, find another canvas. Who knows? Life is long.
and then he replies to that in Druidic. Home, where's that?
The languages you speak.
So many.
He responds in Elvish, you lost me with your dialect, little one.
He responds back in Elvish, "Oh, I'm sorry, those words are just a different dialect from where I'm from, but pleasure to meet you."
Me too. Well, you're welcome. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess Des is just waiting expectantly for the group at the edge, like at the cliff edge, just ready to go down.
What time of day is it right now?
It is, yeah, maybe 2 in the afternoon or so. There's enough light in the sky. You could probably get down this cliff before nightfall here. Should be able to.
He says his canvas. Do we see what he's working on in his hut? Or in his cave, I should say.
No, you don't. You see chairs. You see like a half-finished,
Interesting.
like chest, like woven chest. It's like it's Wicker City in here.
Well, would it be down at the bottom of the bowl and everything? Is it like similar like weather and everything like that to where we're at? I apologize if I missed that part.
I don't think I said it specifically. But yeah, it's the same like early spring, still some lingering snow, but not the weather is bettering in general.
And he said that he can show us the easier paths down, but he could. And did he say you could do that today, or did he say you needed to rest? I'm sorry again.
He didn't specify, but yeah, upon asking, he's happy to show you how to get down now if you'd like, or if you want to wait until morning, you can do that too.
It might be wiser for us to wait until morning at this point, with how much of the day is already gone. If it's not too much of an we'd be happy to help in whatever way we can to repay the debt of bothering you for the evening. But I, for one, would rather continue our journey downward and into this new strange place with a full day ahead of us.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's happy to have the company for the night. If you want to stick around, you guys can hang out, play cards, swap stories, have some dinner. There's only the one bed that he claims himself, so y'all are sleeping on stone. It's not terribly comfortable, but there's enough of a fire. that you guys have a warmish night here.
Gets
Yeah.
the blanket out and cuddles up.
Is this counted as a long rest or a short rest?
Overnight will be a short rest. So we will, I think, call the session there. That seems like a perfect break point, and it is 9:58. So we will pick up next week in the morning for what is hopefully a relatively simple climb.
Next week in the morning, that's messing with my head now.
All right.
Keep that rope close.
Yeah, right.
Well, there are vines everywhere. That's basically rope.
Corey, you speak in riddles.
Thanks everybody for tuning in this week and spending your evening with us. Thank you to everybody who makes the awesome tools for this game, like D&D Beyond, Syrinscape for the ambiance, Above VTT for the tabletop. Really appreciate all the work they do. If you enjoyed the stream, please be sure to follow us on Twitch, on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Come hang out with us in Discord. We're pretty active in there. Would love to chat and see what y'all think about the show lifetime. We will be back next week on Wednesday the 14th. I think, Stefan, you're gone next week, aren't you?
We'll talk about it. I'm
Okay.
going to do my best, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, we should have at least 3 people. We'll be carrying on either way. I typically will always run a game if there are at least 3 players available. So, yeah. So thank you. And until next week, we remain your unseen servants. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Say goodbye, friends.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Very timid goodbye. Should I say goodbye?
All right, stream
Should I say
is
goodbye or
off.
should I just look